gym, Tom.
Yeah, we met before that. Well, we won't get into that yet. But that's a good story. It actually formed a very strong bond. It's actually almost as strong as affordable roofing. Affordable roofing has the strongest and lightest roofs in the world. Not just the land, not just to his ability, because Tony's ability is great. In the whole fucking world. Affordable roofing. That's the original affordable roofing come. Guess what? The economy is taking a hit. You need to be protected. You need to get a roof before your dollar is worthless. And guess what? Affordable roofing, those roofs block economy crashes. So, unfortunately, I don't own a house, or else I'd put a roof on it, and then my money would go much further, and gas would be cheaper to me, back to like $1.80. But unfortunately, I can afford affordable roofing, but I don't have a house. But you do. You have a house, and it needs a roof. So call the original Affordable Roofing Co. That's my man Tony at 423-593-9605. Again, Affordable Roofing Co. Talk to my man Muscles Tony Mullins. 423-593-9605. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get in shape. And we did the first thing. We joined Militia, and we're in phenomenal martial arts shape. But we don't have any strength and conditioning classes here. In fact, you guys are so fat and out of shape, I don't know if I could do a class to teach you all the right things. You're going to need personal training. That's right. One-on-one attention from my man, Captain Cranberry. That's right. 10-8 personal training. He is NASM certified. You are not. So call my man, Captain Cranberry, at 951-445-3133. I know, you're scared. That number is 951, and you're like, that's not Oglethorpe. No, it's a number from outside of the state, but don't worry. The captain will pick up when you call him. Guess what? First session's free. You can't beat that. It's like you put an affordable roofing on, and you got the economy's working already. So call my man, Dylan, a.k.a. Captain Cranberry, at 951-445-3133. 10-8 personal training. He likes that one.
That's the classic.
Not as classic as the King of Dalton, Whitworth, and some guy Brown. I think it's Brown University. I've been Scooby-Dooing this. And I've heard Brown University mentioned a few. Maybe Chip owns the university. I don't know. There's so much mystery. It's like one of those murder mystery theaters. But that's a hell of a foundation. They're doing awesome things. It's top secret things. But they've done a lot of nice things for all the underprivileged members at the gym. That's pretty amazing. Why don't you guys start a foundation and do it? You can't, because you don't know Brown, and I don't know Brown either. That's the Brown and Whitworth Foundation. You're not in that foundation, so go buy yourself a roof. Bonus ad, Brown and Whitworth Foundation. What could Brown do for you?
I love it.
Yep, that's it. Oh, that counts as 2 ads in one, so. Welcome to the Militia MMA podcast. I'm your host, Tom Galicchio, and I am very excited. We got a man who's been here every episode, member of the gym, music extraordinaire, MMA fan, the list goes on, dad of girls.
It's true.
Bobby Cook.
Hello.
Welcome, Bobby.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You finally get to talk here behind the desk.
Yeah, it's a interesting change of pace.
I know. Now I'm gonna have to ask somebody else to look up stuff.
I know. I might be able to multitask.
I know you're a millennia.
I am a millennial.
You're
yeah.
the Millennium Falcon. Millennia Falcon.
I like it. Add it to the name and nickname list
Yeah. What are some of the nicknames
that we got from that initial episode.
Oh, you got some
From the episode where we did the nickname of the year.
Oh yeah.
You remember? I think there was a couple suggestions.
You know, it's funny. I don't even remember what went in that. You listened to it like 3 times.
I did.
I have no idea what was said.
I think they're all just everything we actually said in the podcast episode.
Okay.
So I don't think there was any extra add-ons, but
Yeah,
we'll have to add Millennium Falcon.
The Millennia Falcon. Millennial Falcon. I remember being young, scared of the Millennium.
Really?
Yeah.
Like 2000?
Yeah, Y2K.
Yeah. I remember that was Family Guy didn't help that. They made a Y2K episode and like
I think it was Simpsons.
Simpsons and Family Guy made a Y2K
Simpsons
episode.
did it first, and then Family Guy's like, oh, that works, let's do it.
But both of those freaked me out. You know?
Yeah, the Simpsons was pretty freaky.
Yeah.
It's like that Halloween, and then Y2K was the 3 years.
Yep.
And then there's some old guy going on TV saying, your toasters are going to not work anymore.
Yeah.
Why? 2K!
That's why. 2K is the reason. That's funny. Yeah. Good times growing up.
You're originally from Boston?
I'm from Massachusetts, yeah. I'm from Worcester, which is a
major city.
It is a major city, yeah. It's, I think, the second biggest. It's right in the center of Massachusetts, so.
They got a pretty good comedy scene there. I know Bill Burr used to go there a lot.
Massachusetts in general. Bill
He
Burr.
always talked about Worcester.
Worcester, yeah.
Well, I guess he's from there, so that's why he
Is he from Worcester? Yeah, well,
no, he's from Boston,
Yeah, he's
so
from.
he tours around Massachusetts.
For sure. Yeah, I know. I think Dane Cook is from the area as well.
Dane Cook.
Old school Dane Cook.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely has one of my favorite bits from him was the Christ checks. He was talking about getting the body of Christ on church on Sundays.
Yes, that's.
You start your day off the holy way with Christ checks.
You never know what to do with your hands.
Exactly.
This. I just think I remember that one. That was right before. That was like when he was starting to get big.
Yeah.
Before he got big.
Yeah.
He
Definitely.
was one of the Comedy Central.
Yep.
That was his Comedy Central special.
Yep. And then he started doing like smaller stadiums.
Yeah, he got big fast.
Yeah, for sure. And then he did those movies with Jimmy Fallon.
And then everybody hated him.
And then he just disappeared for a while.
And now he's back on it. It's a shame it kind of happened like that.
For sure.
So what was it like growing up in Boston or Worcester?
I was in this weird spot where I was like close enough to the hood, but like just outside of the hood. So like I definitely saw some shit growing up in the city. A lot of gang violence, a lot of colleges around my neighborhood.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. What was it like grammar school era?
Pretty chill for the most part. I lived on the same street as my school, so I was just I would walk to school, walk home, and my dad was sick the majority of my life, so that was kind of always life.
What did he have?
He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and he was diagnosed like 6 months after I was born.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
and it's pretty deteriorating along the way.
Yeah, super slow deterioration, but like it just beat the shit out of him for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, yep.
Chemo, the whole...
Yep, chemo, all that. And
so he was just kind of just out of it.
Yeah, the whole time. So that was a lot of life.
Okay, was like, Dad's got to go here.
Yeah, exactly. My dad was a fucking tank, though. He was working full-time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was...
so he wasn't so...
I mean, home time, he was miserable,
Yeah, because he used all his energy at work.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, that's when I got to see him the most, but nothing but respect for that guy and just, like, the shit he had to go through. But, that was a lot of life. I did that. I spent my younger years, was reasonably athletic, played a couple sports, did a couple extracurricular activities and shit like that. And
so did you... Yeah, you did the grammar school thing.
Yeah, just
like soccer. You start out with soccer.
Exactly,
first.
soccer, a little bit of like basketball, and then
just things that you're probably not very good at
right today.
What So what was the first thing that really ignited you? So when did you go to middle school?
So middle school, what's funny, it's different here than it is for me back home. But grammar school was K through sixth grade.
Okay, same with me.
Okay, and then seventh and eighth was middle school.
Yes.
Okay. Apparently here it's fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth,
Yes.
which is weird. But
Yeah, it is a little weird.
yeah, so I spent my whole life, in elementary school walking to school because I was right in walking distance, and then middle school was on a school on the opposite side of the giant city that I lived in. So then all of a sudden I'm taking a bus, I'm meeting like tons of new people, and then high school was right next to my house as well. So I went back to walking to school.
So when you were in middle school, did you pick up any sports along the way that stuck with you? Or
Not
any
really.
hobbies that stuck with you?
I Irish step danced for a while.
When did you start that?
I started that when I was about 10, so sixth grade.
Sixth grade, so middle school-ish.
Yeah, right before middle school, and then
How long did you do it for?
I did until I was about 17 years old. So
Okay.
all of middle school, all of high school, it was something that I was teased for, because you think of it right off the bat, and it's
River dancing.
Yeah, it's river dance, but
Is that it? Is that what Irish
Yeah.
step dance
Yep,
is?
exact same thing. But competition Irish step dancing, which is what I did, was a little different. Like rule set wise, like you have to keep your hands down by your side when you're dancing.
And does your face got to be dead?
Face has to be serious. You have to be as stiff as a board.
You can't be having any fun.
Can't have any fun. You just have to nail your steps perfectly.
That's
and then,
so weird.
I know it's so. But river dance is a show, so they're smiling, they're dancing, they're doing.
Are they? Have you seen the river dance?
Yeah. I've seen it live like 10 times.
10 times. That was it. Do you love river dancing?
I loved it at the time. It was one of those things where like my dad was super into it, so I did it kind of to make him happy, and then I stuck with it because I was the only dude in like a class full of 20 hot girls. So in like I'm 10, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah,
this is great. I'm gonna keep coming to class every week. But then I got really good at it.
You were the rooster in the hen house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, but no, I got super good at it, and like it's one of those things where it could have turned into a career at one point, 100% if I stuck with it.
Yeah, if you went to the river dance
Went to
audition.
river dance, yep.
Is that the highest that it goes? What is their NBA? What is their UFC fight? On fight weekend.
Yeah, it
International
would be
fight?
river dance, or it would be like their world team, because there's competition step dance, and then there's entertainment.
But is there bigger outside of the U.S.?
Yeah, like in Ireland and the UK in general, like it's huge, and
Did
like
you make more money there?
definitely.
Really?
And that could be just from a performance standpoint. That could be having people come watch 3 shows a night. I'm with the team, and I do this elaborate routine. But competition, it's usually like unless you're in the big leagues of competition, you get paid for placing. But like what I did, I never got paid. It was super minor scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I stuck with it, I would have easily been somewhere by now. But
Did you get to choose your song?
no, it's all so every song in the Irish step dancing music genre is an actual like type of dance.
Yeah, okay.
So each song there's different versions of the same song. So there's a jig, there's a reel, there's a slip jig, there's a treble jig. In each one, there's multiple dances within that category. So, and that's what competition was about. Like whoever had the sickest dance, like that went perfectly with the beat. Yeah, pretty much.
I figured you would have got all jazzed up when that song "Shipping Off to Boston" came out.
Yeah, I'm kind of over that song.
Oh, that song, I can't stand it
I
now.
can't
But I
stand it.
bet when that came out, you're like, oh, this would be great to step to. I'd be so hard.
Yeah, it was always embarrassing going to like concerts and then having my sister be like, "My brother knows how to step dance. Bobby, get up there, get up there." I'm like, "Fuck you! I'm not trying to do this right now." Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to hide this.
there's a bunch of hot girls here.
Yeah, you're like, do. Yeah, that's So what made you quit step dancing?
Eventually, it got. I was presented with the try to take it serious or like find something else to do, and I actually joined the track team, and that took up a bunch of my time. And then I decided.
Were you good at track from
I was
step
super
dance?
good. Yeah, my legs were super strong, so I could jump really high. So I did high jump.
Did you have beautiful legs?
I had phenomenal legs.
Did you ever try to pole vault?
I never tried to pole vault. That scares
That's
the shit
my
out of me.
one regret in life is never trying it.
It scares the shit out of me. I've seen too many videos where the fucking bar snaps and then goes up their ass.
Yeah, but you got to be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the mechanics of it. It scares the shit out of me. There's no way that bar is that sturdy.
Yeah,
Obviously it is.
it's like
but-
graphite or some shit.
guess.
It's some space age technology that they've been using for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It always looks so good to fly in the air.
It looks fun as hell, but I don't know. I don't
That
trust
pole's
that pole.
not big enough to get up your butthole.
That's
Maybe
true.
yours, not mine.
Maybe.
I don't think it is.
No.
I think it would hurt it, but
Yeah, all the force.
you wouldn't go down it.
Right? I don't know. I've
It's
seen
not
some
thumb
shit.
sized.
I'll show you some videos later.
Oh, I don't want to watch your porn, Bobby.
Oh man.
So how'd you do at track?
I got the second highest jump in my city, which was 6 feet 2 inches
What?
over the bar.
Oh yeah, you did that flip thing.
Yeah, that runny flip thing.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
I only did the one competition, and then I got presented with, parkour, free running. I became a parkour kid.
You
And,
became a parkour kid.
sure did.
What? So did you quit track?
I quit track to do parkour.
Oh, fuck.
I was getting mad views on YouTube,
Really?
like 600 views, but that was a lot, to me.
Oh man, you should have. Do you regret giving it up for parkour?
Yeah, I could have gotten a scholarship to college probably.
Yeah.
And done something with my life, but
Yeah.
here I
You
am.
could have kept your legs good. You're like, I'm gonna do all these flipsy doodles.
Yep. I just tried a backflip recently for the first time in years, and the muscle memory is not there anymore.
It's not there.
It's not there. I'm like, my muscle memory should be able to, figure it out, but nope, flat on my head. I was like, yeah, let's start
Wow,
out.
step dancing, parkour, and track.
And what's funny is my wife's embarrassed by it all.
Yeah, I could see.
Yeah.
What about the track is the manliest thing of the three?
I guess, yeah. But even that was such a brief stint that
You can't even really. You did 2 beats, set a record, and
yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
I'm
Peace
gonna
out.
do these things.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's I'm sure somebody's beaten the record by now.
Yeah.
It's been 12 years, 13 years.
But I'm sure there's been more step dancers and
Definitely.
Worcester getting it on.
Maybe.
So what was high school like? Parkouring?
It was a good chunk of parkouring.
Were you the parkour kid?
Me and my 2 buddies, Scott and Steven, were the parkour kids.
Were
Twin
you guys
brothers.
picked on for that?
No,
Or
not
was,
at all.
Or was people amazed?
Everybody thought we were the crazy white kids that were doing backflips at lunch. We would go outside at lunch and test out backflips and shit off the wall.
Okay.
And everyone's like, "Damn,
Yeah,
these kids are crazy."
It wasn't super lame yet.
No, it's lame now.
It's lamer now.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing Ninja Warrior.
Right, exactly. Then it's useful.
Yeah,
But
that and what's it called? The one on Netflix.
the Beast one, Beastmaster.
Yeah, although they're a little gay, the
Yeah.
Americans.
A little gimmicky compared.
Yeah. I like how the Asians do it. 100 people right to the point. They had Genki Sudo do it.
No,
He did. Famous Muay Thai fighter.
that's awesome.
MMA fighter.
And he won, or did he just
No,
compete?
he got knocked out. I think Felice Herring did it.
Oh, cool.
She did American Ninja Warrior, was a little more commercialized. Like the one in Japan's 100 people. Here's his minute of what he does.
Right.
It could they're not going to give it. This guy's a Muay Thai fighter, Genki
Yeah.
Sudo, famous, but he only got just as minute as Bill the Carpenter.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
Yeah.
Kim the Carpenter.
Yeah. That's cool though. Do you remember? I don't remember what channel it was, but there was it was like Ultimate. It was like one of those. It was like that funny Japanese show, and it had the 2 hosts, and it was always American dubbed, and it would just be the Japanese people running and doing these crazy obstacle courses and
And they all fell.
and they all fell.
And it was all clipped.
Yeah, it was all clips.
Yeah,
and
I'm not a fan of that.
really? Oh man, I used to love that.
Wipeout's like that too.
Shit. Wipeouts like that, yeah. But
You know,
that's-
Sam's on Wipeout with his wife.
Sam Alvey's on
Yeah.
Wipeout. That's cool.
They went like a year ago, maybe a little longer. He's also on that Stone Cold show,
Stone Cold, he has a
The
TV show.
Broken Arrow, Broken Skull Challenge, and it was on the Country Music Channel, and it was 12 people or 12 people, 14. It was bracketed or 8.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was bracket 8, 4, 2, and they all competed in man competitions.
That's cool. Nice.
Sam beat all of them, and then
Wow.
he made it to the final where you got to beat the obstacle course faster than the record holder. And we're going to have to get him on and talk about that.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's cool. I'm surrounded by all these TV stars.
Yeah, right? It's
Crazy.
we're a bunch of D-listers here.
I love it.
I could join the. Hey, you're kind of a celebrity.
Me?
You have a hit song.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it.
So, was that you only made one song?
I've written hundreds of songs. That's the only song that's ever fully come to fruition. Start
to finish.
Start to finish. Actually recorded it with a legitimate producer.
Okay.
Like, got it done correctly.
Your voice sounds all different.
All different? No.
I couldn't. If somebody, yeah, it does. If somebody said this is Bobby,
yeah,
like I was out somewhere else, I would have never been able to tell it was you.
that's fair. I mean, it's also. Have you heard me like sing and just like?
I haven't heard your singing voice.
So that yeah,
you
I
transform your voice.
I guess like when you hear me talk and then you hear me sing, it sounds like not drastically different, but like it's like that's a singing voice. I don't know. I personally think I'm not the best singer in the world at all, but
well, no one is.
That's
like
true. Yeah.
Name somebody who's the best, the most. What singer makes the most money right now?
Makes the most money?
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Singer,
Points, dollars.
Singer, probably Beyonce.
And she's a horrible
Or
singer.
Ariana Grande.
She's not a songwriter.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't.
But her songwriters are awful too.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like it's also 9-10 people in a room now, and so much diluted songwriting that.
Well, she just repeats.
Does a lot of repeating.
All my single ladies.
Yeah.
All my single ladies. All my single ladies. All my single ladies. Put your hands up, 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 up. If you like it, you should have put a ring on it. If you like it, you should have put a ring on it. Oh. Like, how many? Every line was repeated multiple times, and that's
100%.
That's 18 bars right there. Whatever song structure was supposed to be 16.
There you go. That's the unfortunate thing about pop music these days, but also why my song is a mild hit.
A mild hit.
Because I wrote a structurally well put together pop song,
So,
but I did that intentionally. I wanted to see, like, I've written music in the past that is great to me, great to my circle, but like doesn't seem to gain tons of traction. I'm like, so what gains traction? Shitty pop music. All right, me and AJ, my buddy, got drunk in Florida one day and wrote a shitty pop song, and then but got it, paid money to get it done right, and then that's the song everybody loves for some reason. So that's music.
Yeah, why don't you do a couple more of those?
We actually got on our first songwriting session call last night to make it a weekly thing because he's still up in Massachusetts. So we're gonna try to make an effort to write a song a week, 2 songs a week, and see if we can.
And then get together and make the most of your studio time. Mm-hmm. Don't drink. Don't be there. Be like a fucking ninja assassin. Then what's you have your beers and stuff.
Exactly. Well, what's funny about that poolside song is we were stoned the entire time, like start to finish. So
no shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved it. And
when you were singing it?
When we were singing it in the studio.
Really? I would think smoking is not really
not
great
a good idea
for
at all.
your vocal cords, and it definitely...
It's not, and I would highly suggest against it. But...
Unless you're like a raspy rock singer.
Right, for sure. That song, I tried to sing kind of lower than usual, and I kind of made it like a 90s Nelly singy, rappy verse.
Yeah. Like kind of like the bro... country vibe too.
Yeah, exactly. Like Florida Georgia Line meets Nelly meets
white
rapping. That's unfortunately my buddy AJ's number one problem, and he'll admit this himself, but he can't write a song without having to write a rap in it somewhere. That's just how his brain works. He just writes words really fast, and he always tries to rap. So no matter what we write, there's gonna be a rap in it.
Yeah, it's gonna all sound like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
That's it.
You know what? That was a good song when it came out.
I agree.
I enjoyed it when it came out. Now it's like overplayed.
Too much. You can't go in any like country bar now in Nashville without hearing that or Wagon Wheel.
Yeah, the all-time karaoke classic, Friends in Low Places.
That is a classic.
That is the number one song that if you don't really know it, you kind of know enough of it, and it'll get the crowd involved.
Right.
When I DJ'd, that's what, I would do parties and be karaoke.
Yeah.
He'd be like, this is the song. I always like, probably Rapper's Delight, because
yeah, for sure.
that works. And I've seen somebody get the whole crowd involved in it.
That's cool.
But yeah, he said friends in low places. Everybody will sing it.
Hell yeah.
Even if they never heard it, they know
Yeah,
it.
100%. Because everybody knows those last 3 lines.
It's so low places.
Everybody knows that, so everybody's gonna.
Why is he gotta sing it like a fucking douchebag?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
You know what's so funny is I used to have one of those talking fish heads growing up,
Oh God!
and
yeah.
it sang that song, and the fish
Of
head.
course it did. What else would it sing?
So my younger sister was obsessed with it, so she hit the button every fucking 10 minutes, and I would just hear that fish from any room in the house singing "Friends in Low Places." It's like my worst nightmare. I think about it all the time.
Yeah, that's a song that's been just drilled.
100%. That and "Don't Stop Believing."
Oh, I hate that song. It's okay the first few times you hear
One
it.
of my old band's best songs to play to a drunken bar, no doubt.
Oh yeah, that
You know
is
what I'm saying?
There's Sean Strickland had an old saying about it. Every time you hear that song being played, there's always a fat white girl in a bar singing it in karaoke somewhere in the world.
Absolutely.
And then every time you hear that song being played after I heard that, it is a fat white girl singing it.
Yeah.
That's her hit. That's her night.
It's her moment.
I heard you're quite the karaoke sensation.
I don't know about that. I do love a good karaoke session, though.
Do you?
I do. I don't know. It's it usually has to be after a couple drinks. But I won second place in a paid karaoke contest once. That was like a 4-week-long karaoke contest. You had to keep coming back, and if you moved on to the finals, you faced somebody else.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was like they did that roast battle.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And every week you moved up a tier.
Oh,
if you
a
won.
bracket.
Yeah. Exactly.
Was it what bar was it? Because that sounds like a bar thing to get
It was a
people to
bar.
come back.
It's not there anymore. It just they actually just turned it in one of those cool video game bars, like arcade bars. But it used to be called Majesty's, I think, on Highland Street in Worcester. And I won $500 for coming in second place. And
How was the guy who won?
he was great. His name's Andrew Cooper. He's a pro fucking poker player now. Makes tons of money playing poker. It's ridiculous. But he beat me, and the reason being, the last round, the finale of the competition was me and him, and we had to sing a Bee Gees song. Like, it was like we could pick any song we want for the other weeks, but the finale had to be a Bee Gees song.
Oh.
And he picked the one where the guy's singing in a normal voice, so I picked Staying Alive, which is all falsetto. And, like, I'm not a falsetto singing guy, and, like, it sounded
Yeah.
good because I know how to, like, hit the notes and stay there. And, like,
But you're not a Bee Gees.
I'm not a Bee Gees singer, but I won second place. But I still won $500. It was sick.
Should have done shadow dancing.
Tell me about it. But
It's a pretty good jam. You ever hear
yeah,
that one?
I do. I like spent
But
it,
it's not a Bee Gees song. It's a solo act.
right from
What's his name? One of the Bee Gees
Yeah,
artists. Would
right.
you have got DQ'd if they did that? Probably if they picked a Bee
I don't
Gees
know.
song.
If I
It sounds like they were like, all right, you guys got to sing a Bee Gees song. That's not really like
it was
a
the
good
weirdest thing though, because it was like these 3 random people who apparently were people in the community of importance when it came to judging karaoke contests.
tell. Yeah, like
in these shitty bars. But I'm like, there was these 3 people, and they were very serious about
they
it.
were
and
were they hipsters?
they were like older folk.
Old
They weren't
hipsters.
yeah. But they were so like they had tips for us. They had notes for us after our performances. They wanted us to work on this. It was just like American Idol.
Yeah, it was
so
their
weird.
chance to shine.
I know. Dude.
It was their chance to.
It was so weird.
It wasn't just your thing. It was them, and they got a little piece of power.
Unfortunately, I've only done karaoke twice since moving down here. But I love me some karaoke. Steve talked me into it when him and I and Jared went out for a few drinks a few weeks ago. And yeah, I sang "Walking in Memphis."
Okay, I don't know the song.
It's a classic song.
Who's it by?
Couldn't tell you.
Some guy.
What's his
He's
name?
old as fuck.
Yeah, I forget his name. It's a song about Elvis and Memphis, Tennessee. And
Okay.
yeah, great song. Blew the whole room away. Waitress was like super judgmental at first, like, why the fuck is he singing this song?
Yeah, who is he?
Like-
What in tarnation?
But I came down, she's like, that was great. I was like, oh, thanks.
Elvis is proud.
Sure is. But yeah, I do like some karaoke.
Yeah, I heard you tore it down.
I try. You know, I try to put my all. My go-to song is "Ignition" remix by R. Kelly.
Oh, you can't do that anymore.
But it's frowned upon these days.
Yeah, R. Kelly. You hitched your wagon to the wrong horse. So why'd you move from Worcester to here?
My wife hates the cold,
Okay.
like desperately.
And where's she from?
She's from Massachusetts as well. She's from a smaller town called Charlton, which is a little further south of Worcester.
How'd you guys meet?
She worked at a frozen yogurt restaurant that just opened up on the
frozen yogurt restaurant.
I guess it was just a frozen yogurt spot, but
It's like, I'll have the filet mignon.
exactly.
Strawberry sherbet.
Pretty much.
Medium
well,
rare.
it was this new thing because that neighborhood had never seen a frozen yogurt place before, and like that building was mysteriously like a creepy dentist office for the longest time.
Yeah, the ones where you get frozen yogurt and you put the shit in the cup. Like, you put the toppings.
No, they do it all for you.
Okay.
But yeah, and it was
because
cool.
that became big for a minute.
It did.
You know
it
what
did.
I mean?
And then they're like, "Fuck you, do it yourself."
Yeah, like you could do anything, but we're gonna charge you by the ounce.
Right. Exactly.
I hate those. They'll put cereal out and they'll charge you by the ounce. You're like, I know how much that shit costs. I'll go home and put my own cereal on it.
I'm always eating it before I get to the register.
Yeah, you got to take it. It's like eating at the buffet.
Exactly.
So go on. Sorry.
No, yeah. So yeah, she. It was a brand new spot, just opened up, and I walked in there, and I was actually on a date with another girl.
What?
And I saw Shelby, and I was like, "Wow, she's really pretty." And I had actually made a comment to the girl. The girl I was dating, I wasn't like overly seriously seeing. And I was just like, "Oh, that girl's really pretty." When Shelby, when I first met her, she had her dimples pierced, and she had like colored hair, and she just looked like this like hipster.
You were like one of those snails that, like, once it finds a better shell, like, detach and go into that one.
Yeah, pretty much. But
So you saw this girl's beautiful.
I saw this girl.
And then
she was beautiful.
you made sure you let your date know.
I sure made sure I
Good protocol. First date?
Like, I want to be honest, you know. But what's funny is I worked at Best Buy, and a few weeks later I saw Shelby.
So wait, did you have any interaction there?
Nope,
with
didn't
her?
say anything. To
You're
her.
like, she's beautiful.
Yep.
The only interaction you had with her was not with her. Was telling your date about her.
Exactly. Yep. I'm a piece of shit, guys. It's okay.
It's all right. It's all right. No, just trying to get the story. All right. So, so you went to the ice cream shop.
Went
You
to the
said,
ice cream
this
shop.
girl's hot. I'm going to marry her.
Yep.
And then she's like, what about me? You went, ugh.
Pretty much.
And then now you're at Best Buy.
Yep.
A week later.
I was working at Best Buy, and I saw Shelby walking again, but this time she was with her father and her daughter, Lydia.
Okay.
Me not knowing that Lydia was her daughter at the time, I thought it was her little sister, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! Look how nice she is with her little sister. That's adorable." Blah 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 blah. Come to find out, a friend of mine from high school was working at the frozen yogurt place as well. So I told her, like, "Hey, let that girl with the dimples know that I think she's pretty."
So wait, you saw her at Best Buy.
I saw her at Best Buy, a whole separate interaction. Didn't say anything to her, just noticed her from afar.
You found some girl
Yeah.
at work you talked to at one time and were like, hey, this girl's hot.
Yep,
Check it
exactly.
out. So much better than you.
But I thought she
Oh,
was...
glad we're not talking anymore. You did one of those. But you didn't talk to Shelby.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So you're like, good, I get it. So now you got an inside man.
Exactly. Now I got an inside man. I was like, hey, let her know what's going on. And I thought Shelby was Puerto Rican because she was a little tanner back in the day. And she was like all exotic looking with her like dimples pierced, and she had her tongue pierced, and like she was super hip looking. I was
She
like,
had
wow.
what color was her hair?
When I first met her, I want to say it was brownish blondish. Shelby's hair has changed 67 times
She's like Josie and the Pussycats.
in 10 years. Yeah. It's like a new woman, fairly,
Every 8 months.
exactly. But yeah, I just told the girl that I went to high school with. I was like, hey, tell Shelby I said hi. And then our first date was me going with Shelby to a tattoo appointment. Yep. And then we got coffee after. And
How was that?
the tattoo appointment?
Probably awkward because you're just the dude sitting there and it's surrounded by a bunch of dudes tattooing the girl.
It was awkward because there was a guy who worked or hung around the shop that apparently had a big crush on her. And like he came in, he wasn't the tattooer, but he came in to like see how things were going. And then I was sitting there holding her hand.
He had another guy right there.
Exactly.
He had another inside man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then the rest is history. I became stepdad to Lydia and now real dad, and now we've got our own, and
Yeah, now you're a 4-pack.
Now we're a 4-pack.
It's-
5 if you count, 5.5 if you count our fat old dog.
There you go. What is it a girl?
She's a girl, yeah.
You're just surrounded by ladies.
My whole life, I'm the only boy of 4 girls. My dad
man.
croaked early. It was just me and
Yeah,
girls.
just you and girls said.
Yeah.
And then Meg says you're a little.
I'm a little.
That's what.
Whatever that
you
means.
come here and then you just get insulted by Meg.
That's what I do. That's life.
So you met her and then since then you started dating.
Yeah. Dated for 5 years. Bought a house. Got married. But actually had a kid. Bought a house. Got married. Did the the whole normal thing backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then sold the house. Moved to Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Here we are. Got married in 2016 or 17. We got married on New Year's just so it was easy to remember.
Yeah.
But now I always forget how many years ago it was because it's on New Year's. So was it that year or the year before?
Yeah, you're like, I remember a ball drop.
Right.
So that takes out most of the days.
Yeah, exactly. Narrowed it down.
So what brought you to Chattanooga? First of all, before we even start that, how long have you been here? So we can kind
It's
of
been exactly a year as of yesterday.
Okay, so you've been here a year.
A year, yep.
A year and a week by the time this comes out. A
Yep.
year, a week, and 1 day.
Something like that. But yeah, Shelby hates the snow. Shelby hates the cold. I wanted to be somewhere where I could potentially take music a little bit more seriously. And I thought
What were you doing back in...
I was a full-time musician
Okay.
for the past 2 years. I worked hospital IT for the past 8 years. And then my band started playing out fairly regularly.
Where were you playing?
Playing a lot in Worcester, a lot in Boston.
Do you ever do... was it mostly bars?
It was bars, restaurants, a couple hotel lobbies. We were just doing
What would
small.
you do at a restaurant? Would you go acoustic?
Yeah, well, that was our whole thing. Is we were an acoustic duo.
So you...
We had no drums, no bass,
Not
no
even
electric.
in the bar?
Nope, not even the bar. We utilized the looping pedal, so we could build up to 20 tracks
Okay.
all in one live session. So all of the songs that we would perform would sound like there was a full band there, for the most part. We would add drums to it.
And then you'd bring your acoustic guitar out, or would you go electric?
We would bring the acoustic out and then just play along to that. But we were mostly an acoustic band. On occasion, we had a third member join us, our buddy Kevin, and then we were 2 guitars and a vocal. But it was
Do you like acoustic?
that's my preferred.
To listen to?
To listen to, no.
It's a little lame to listen to.
It can be. It always worked in our settings because me and AJ were very heavy harmony based. So both of us were singing all the time. It was
What were you singing?
top 50 hits of the 90s to now. And
90s to now, and now was, what, 2015, 18?
up to 2019, 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the...
Pop, country, rock, rap hits you heard on the radio, we covered it more
probably
level.
went a little bit older than newer, because
From time to time, yeah. A lot of 90s. We would go as far...
most of the kids at the bar are 21, so you got to think like what the music they are when they're 21.
Right, we would
Correct.
think, we
like when they were in high school.
Exactly. We would always try to play off of our environment. Like we played weddings as well, and when we did the reception, which even though we were just an acoustic act for the most part, we would play poppy, exciting cover songs that everybody
Yes.
could dance to, and because we had the loop pedal, we could make it sound like there was way more going on.
Okay.
So, it was worth it, but
And so if you didn't want that acoustic sound, if you were playing Hell's Bells or something at a wedding, you could let the pedal do that. Or what was as hard as you got?
as hard as we got, it was shipping off to Boston on an acoustic guitar. Yeah.
But would the pedal like make it sound like it
Yeah,
was
the
real
pedal,
song?
we'd be able to slap the hole of the guitar, and it would make this big thud, like a, for the people at home, it would sound like that, through the microphone. And then we would hit the strings, and we would be able to make a tum, 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 tum,
Okay.
tum, tum, and we could alter the actual level so it sounded like a thick drum, and then play guitar riffs over it, play chords
But
over
would it
it.
still be like ding, 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 ding?
No,
No,
next-
it would
it
be
would-
like
it
you
Came
would
out
make-
pretty thick. We could change the settings, like basically putting a filter on the acoustic guitar. making
all right,
it
so you're
sound
putting a distortion to it.
a little bit of
somehow.
distortion. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'd spice it up, and some songs we would play just straight up acoustic because they sounded better that way.
Yeah.
But some like super like
I could see that for a wedding.
yeah.
Worn down places.
Exactly.
Like all that fucking.
The amount of times we've played Wagon Wheel at a fucking wedding.
I don't even know what wagon wheel is.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon.
Oh,
rock me, mama. Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
Classic.
I
Apparently.
liked him better as Hootie and the Blowfish.
Me too. People love it though.
I know.
People love it. That one and the other one.
When Darius Rucker, Hootie,
Yeah,
went country, he made way more money.
it's true. And when Taylor Swift went pop, she made way more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see. Oh, really?
She specifically did an interview saying that she is straying away from country, even
She's
though
still country.
she was pop, barely country to begin with.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
the beginning
she's
it was
pop.
poppy shit stuff anyway, but now she's strictly pop. you know?
When you, what does country mean? Like, you just got to talk like this.
I guess sing
You
about.
got to have that draw.
You gotta have the twang. You gotta sing about beer and bonfires and something about a truck. And I think that's it. Just check the truck, beer, and bonfire off, and
My favorite country song is called Choctaw Bingo.
never
It's
heard
like
of
9 minutes. It's awesome.
it. Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's very adult.
Okay. All right. Check it out.
Yeah, you'll love it. You guys got to play it.
I'll play it. I'm trying to get something.
It
together.
can't be acoustic though.
No.
You
I
gotta-
need a real band. I would like to be in a full band. It's
You need a real guitar with electricity and everything.
yeah, it's true.
Or I'll settle for a solar guitar for you.
A solar guitar. Do they have solar guitars?
You could make it.
Oh, man.
3D print that shit. Shelby.
Get on it, Eli. Yeah, it shall be printed out.
So you're getting back into music now.
Slowly. I've got a lot on my plate. I do this thing where I take on way more than I'm able to handle,
That's okay.
and then my dreams get pushed aside, and then I'm like, no, I've got plenty of time for that. And then I don't see my kids, and I'm like, all right, I'll go see the kids, and I'm like, I'll write music next week. So that's been the never end.
That's how I feel with comedy.
Yeah,
Like, I wish I had more time for comedy.
definitely.
But, even though I'm not working, Sam's here Wednesday, I still want to be here for it.
Right. Makes
I
sense.
still want to be here policing my gym in case somebody's got to sign up or a
Right.
question, or Sam kids run behind the desk and grab the gun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I still got to be here.
Definitely. It makes sense, but
I wish I could. I wish I could go. I still write jokes.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking of things where I want to go.
and eventually you're going to be at a point where, you won't need to be here all the time. I know, it's your gym, it's your baby, and you want to be, but, hopefully one day soon in the future, we expand, and
Yeah. Well, shoot, we're coming up on that 2-year mark.
it's crazy.
And I got a thing in my lease where I could decide to stay here for just a little bit more money, or I got an out for the next 2 years. And I thought I'd move by then, but I'm like, I got to stay here because build out's going to be too expensive
Yeah,
to change.
right. Especially
I got a place twice the size down the road. I'm thinking about. I don't know if the parking would accommodate.
Yeah.
If you go down here on McBrien, which would be 2 minutes from my house,
Right.
there's an auto zone. There's a building, a blue building, and it's metal. And then I think there's the Family Dollar
Gotcha.
on the other side, right off McBrine.
Yeah. that
That's
could
one
be
of the
useful.
ones I'm looking at. I don't know. Build out's expensive. All
It
that
is,
shit.
especially now with everything going on, all that shit.
It'll get better.
It will get better for sure. It's just that's my
going-
problem with buying a house right now too. It's just everything,
The interest rates are high now.
Interest rates
but
are
that's
high.
going to lower housing costs.
Right.
In the next year or so, it's going to tank.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see where it goes.
So wait. I'm waiting. There's going to be 2 more interest rate spikes.
Yeah.
Get ready. And everything's gambling. I realized this today.
Yeah.
Gambling's considered a sin if we go down to the meat and potatoes, but everything is gambling.
100%.
It's like gambling on yourself, and you never get anywhere if you don't gamble.
Right.
So I had a little bit of chunk left of money. That's my security blanket. I got it. I was like, you know what? Now's the time. I moved it to a Robinhood account ready to make purchases on crypto and stocks once the market tanks.
Right.
And I'm going to gamble. it should work out in my favor, pending things don't go wrong and I don't need that money.
Yeah.
But now's my chance to double or triple a significant amount of money
Definitely.
and change things.
Yeah.
So if you don't take that shot on yourself, which is gambling, but really it's just buying stocks and stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
So everything's gambling and you won't get ahead. Or
Right. I think everything in life's a gamble. So.
it really is.
Yeah, even like morbidly, like getting in the car's a gamble. You know?
Yeah, when everybody texted.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody texting, fucking. Yeah.
So shit, I strayed. Where were we about? So you want to get back into music, but your family's getting in the way.
Oh, I do. My family.
No, I'm just kidding.
Always. No, I love my family to death. But yeah, the goal coming down here initially was to not necessarily put myself back out there as a performer, but to be more of the behind the scenes guy, like being one of those guys in a room writing a song for Beyonce. Obviously, the difference I'd like to make is I'd like to write better music.
Right. But you're all right writing the pop.
I'm all right writing the pop to an extent. You know, I'd like it to have some individuality, and that's what I think. My excuse for the individuality in my song is, you know, us doing the whole white boy singy rappy thing. You know, like
what's your favorite type of music?
my favorite type of music. I honestly don't have a favorite type.
No favorite genre.
No favorite genre. I'm pretty open. I listen to a lot, like drastically different. Like,
Is there any genres you don't like?
no.
You're all right with death metal?
Yeah, I love death metal.
You're like
Yeah.
metal growling?
I used to be big in the heavy scene when I was growing up in high school.
My buddy's part of like one of the hugest death metal groups.
That's cool.
Suicide Silence.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
And apparently they go around the world playing like
Yeah.
moderate, big sized bars.
I've seen them twice. Suicide Silence.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen them twice.
My buddy Chris and my buddy Dan Kenny.
That's
Shout out
awesome.
to Dan Kenny.
Hell yeah.
Next time he's in Atlanta,
Cool.
I'll hook you up.
Fuck yeah.
We got to get him on the podcast one of these days
Heck
when
yeah.
he's in town.
Tom, this podcast is gonna go to the moon, man.
Yeah, but you know, hopefully that'd be
Hopefully.
nice.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's on the moon on our terms.
Right. That's all
the
you can
thing,
ask
doing
for.
it on your terms. So do you enjoy doing like stuff like this podcast?
I do. Yeah. This is. If
It's not music, but it's like talk radio.
It's close enough. It's getting to mess around in this, you know, audio system here. It's. I enjoy talking. I enjoy listening. I enjoy a good conversation, which is why, like, I listen to so many podcasts anyway. I had a podcast for a while back in Massachusetts, and I was really starting to get into it, and wanted to turn it into a career somehow. So I had a buddy who had a bunch of office buildings, and he used one of his empty spaces, and we turned it into a podcast studio.
And was he your co-host?
No, he was not my co-host. He was kind of like the young Jamie. He was kind of the me to your podcast.
Yes. Okay.
To an extent, he didn't really interview too much, but he was in the room making sure that it was recording the whole
And was
time.
he pretty good at that?
He was, yeah. He hired me to do that for other people, though. That's why he
Okay.
built the room. Basically, he wanted to employ me to run the studio for him.
And you could run your own advert.
I could run my own. And we would have other people come in. We would have people come in and do like voiceovers for like books and
Commercials.
studios and you know, commercials and stuff like that. And I enjoy doing that. If that could be my primary job, I would do it. And like, you know, if this could be my 9 to 5, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Really?
Easy. Yeah. I love this shit. I don't know why. Like especially if it's a good conversation. I could listen to a good conversation. I don't give a fuck who it is. You know?
What's a good conversation to you? Is it something where you learn something?
Usually something where I learn something. Yeah. I think learning something is something that I always want to take away from a podcast.
Okay.
In some aspect, whether that
Or
be,
laughing.
Or laughing, exactly. Laughing or learning something, or sometimes even being like feeling inspired, you know.
Okay.
Because that happens from time to time as well.
I could take inspiration as long as it's not motivation.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fine line these days.
Yeah, like I would rather be inspired. Okay, so I'm inspired by listening to Dan Gable
Okay.
talk and like tell his story. Just by telling a story, not trying to motivate, but
Right.
like
Not
there'd
saying
be-
you should do this.
Yeah.
You know.
What are you doing on the couch?
Right,
Get on up. You need to be doing, it's 4 a.m. Why aren't you doing push-ups if
Exactly.
it's time to work? time to eat, you are a lion, all that shit. I'm like, no, this
Yeah.
is fucking goofy.
There's too much of that now, I think, which is
Everybody.
right. Like back in the day, there was a handful of people doing that, and like, yeah, I definitely got a handful of people off their asses. But
Yeah.
now it's everybody's doing it, and everybody's trying to monetize it. Everybody's trying to get you to follow them so that they can give you motivation, and then you buy their course on how to be successful, even though
They're
they're
gonna
not
tell
really
you the
successful.
same shit in a different format.
Right. You know, it's like literally every like area of business is doing that now. Like recently, Steve and I started this pressure washing business that initially started off as a commercial cleaning business. And I found this motivational guy on Instagram who specializes in like starting a cleaning business. And it was like, buy my course. All of his free content was like, you can do it. Let's do it. Like, this is all you need to do. Just get up and get started, blah, blah, blah. But then you have to buy his course to get any actual tangible information
On how to do it.
And then we switched to pressure washing, and the same thing. Bunch of guys will give you this much information, but give me $10,000 and I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah, you're better off.
fuck,
The
man.
format's better off giving real information and getting sponsors.
Right, exactly.
Teaching and
100%.
sponsorship. Absolutely. And there are people doing that too. You
There
could
is.
go on YouTube and that's
sure.
probably how you learn.
It's few and far between. Everybody's trying to make a buck now, but like there's you'll find that one guy on YouTube that's like giving valuable information, wants nothing in return. You know.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing about it. But
Yeah, I'm not into that gimmicks and bullshit.
I was for a while, and that's why I'm so turned off to it now. You know, like I can attribute that to getting me out of a funk at one point in my life. I found comfort in that motivational shit, but then I just noticed it to be too much. Everybody's saying the same thing.
Yeah, you're a
There's
lazy
60
piece
dudes
of
all
shit.
telling me the same thing, like get off your-
Intensely
Right.
and inspirational music.
Right. And in the wise words of you, quit yelling at me.
Yeah, quit yelling at me. I'm doing the best I
doing
can.
the best I can.
I'm
Fuck
probably doing more than you.
Yeah, probably. You're just yelling at people on YouTube.
Yeah. I believe in the Yoda. Just do it.
Just
do or do not.
Right.
Just
exactly.
do it.
Right. And that's my wife's motto. It's like every time I come to her with like a new idea or like a new something I want to do, she's like, shut up. Don't tell me. Just do it. If you're going to do it, do it. If you're not going to do it, don't talk about it.
Yeah, she's fucking meat and potatoes.
My wife keeps me in check.
She only deals in facts.
Exactly.
I like that.
It's harsh
There's
sometimes.
no sugarcoat. Yes, but it's very useful.
100%.
You like somebody to keep you in check and keep it.
All right.
And sometimes it might not be the best way said, but as long as it's honest.
Right.
I'm sure there's always a slant like, she's like, I think it's gay, the music you sing and
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
the things you've done. So I'm sure there's a definite slant on it too at times.
100%. It's funny you say that, actually. I was playing a song the other day that I used to play when I was younger, and she used to love when I was in a pop punk band, which was like obviously a little heavier than what I do on an acoustic guitar now. I was playing an old song that I used to play, and she's like, geez, I wish you would just fucking play this music all the time instead of that shit you play now.
Yeah, instead of sticking that flute up your ass, you
Exactly.
pussy or something like that.
Man. Classic.
I could see Shelby so like that.
That's Shelby.
Yeah, just
That's
like,
my wife.
yeah, she's like, thank God you didn't play that pussy music right now.
Pretty much. But then on the opposite end of on the spectrum, she loves Machine Gun Kelly. So I don't.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's funny. He just dropped. He's coming out with a documentary on Hulu.
On what? How he's like,
On how everybody
he's
basically
not tough, so he named himself Machine Gun.
exactly. But he talks about how everybody hates him and how he overcame the odds to be this rock star now. But Shelby's in the trailer because we went to his concert. And we were in the crowd, and you could see Shelby in the crowd, and she like won't shut the fuck up about it now.
She's like, wee,
Like,
in the
"It's
crowd.
me, I'm so excited.
Oh, Bobby, Shelby, if you're listening, probably not.
No, not at all.
Probably not. Hopefully just for this part. I think you owe Bobby a pass. You're in the Machine Gun Kelly. Actually, one of my roommates was in his music video.
Really?
He fought him in an MMA fight and lost.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you got to add that loss to your record. You lost to Machine Gun Kelly.
How do you do that?
It was just a music video.
Just
so he got called in
That's so
because he looked the part. I was like, I wouldn't sign up for that.
No, not at all.
Losing the machine. Fucking, he's not a machine gun. He's a Kelly.
That's funny.
I got a joke I'm working on about it if I ever get called to the UFC jam. And basically, it's talking about how I love Conor McGregor's just antics afterwards.
Yeah.
And then how one of my favorite things is how he tried to punch Machine Gun Kelly. And then that all he did was Machine Gun. He hid behind Megan. More of a Kelly than a Machine Gun. My only regret of it is him not landing that punch, because that guy needs to get punched.
Yeah.
He looks like he needs to get punched.
I think so. He had to hide behind his hot wife.
Yeah, right?
Classic.
And then she did one of these where she looked him up and down. Like, oh,
Conor
I see
McGregor.
ya.
That guy's almost
Stand
got $1 billion.
behind me, Kelly. And she's like a UFC fan, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
true.
the star.
Right. Well, he's apparently he's a big fan of Stipe because they're both from Cleveland. So
Who is Machine
Gun Kelly. So.
Kelly?
Yeah. So he claims to be a big UFC fan as well, but
Oh,
he's only there for Stipe fights and Conor fights. So.
I hate how he's like Dana puts him up.
Right. I hate how Dana puts up a few people.
Like Snoop Dogg, he tried that for a minute.
I don't mind the Snoop Dogg thing.
I mind it.
What I
Snoop
hate
Dogg's
is
the worst.
Yeah, I think these days he has been. I think
He's been the worst since like '98.
Really.
Yeah, he just makes the same music over and over
That's
again.
true. I don't give a shit about his music aside from Drop It Like It's Hot.
Tried to,
and then the old stuff.
He tried to film a video in Compton. And then apparently he got chased off. They're like, you haven't been around
get
here
the
for
fuck outta here.
30 fucking years. Get the fuck out of here.
You don't rep
like,
this
you're
anymore.
not us.
That's funny. Oh my god.
Well, that's reality.
Yeah, definitely.
Snoop Dogg ain't thugging. He's spending money. He got off on a murder case a while ago.
Exactly. Living in his mansion and wants to do hood shit when it's time to do hood shit.
He ain't doing hood shit.
No.
He's 50 fucking years old.
It's true.
He got famous when he was like 19.
Yeah.
He's been out of the hood more than he's in petty thug shit.
100%. Yeah.
That ain't nothing.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know who I'm more sick of, him or The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock. He's doing too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's way too much. Like I respect him to an extent, and honestly, I got to admit, I know your stance on superhero movies.
We'll get into that later.
Oh, of course we will. You got that written down?
I got it written down. It says Superman's right here on my list.
I don't give a fuck about Superman. His new movie, Black Adam, looks pretty decent, and it's a DC movie. I hate DC movies with a passion. I'm a Marvel guy all the way. But his movie's a DC movie. Actually looks pretty good. I'm a little excited about it.
All right, fuck it. Let's get into it. So I understand speaking of this, you're a big fan of the Supermans.
Not Superman. Spider-Man.
Same shit.
No, sir.
What do you mean? What's the different abilities?
Different abilities, different stories, different
different
adaptations.
So what's the difference between Superman and Spider-Man?
Superman's from a different planet,
Okay, born somewhere different.
born somewhere else.
Born somewhere else. Okay.
Crash landed on Earth. He got adopted by a nice human folk.
So he lost his parents.
Yeah, technically speaking.
Spider-Man loses
I
parents.
see where you're going with this, Tom.
Spider-Man loses parents.
I get it, but we can say the same about people in the world as well.
Okay, no, I'm just
They're
trying to...
just telling relatable stories so people can relate to them. But you know,
did Aquaman's lose his parents?
I don't know. I don't like Aquaman.
He's super... One of the
He hangs out
Superman-
with Amber Turd, so I don't know.
Okay, what superhero has loving parents that are still actively and supportive? Batman's doesn't.
Camilla Khan,
Batman.
Miss Marvel.
They have to make up new ones.
No,
to do.
there's. What do you mean?
I'm only talking Camilla Khan.
Yeah,
Who's that?
she's Miss Marvel.
Oh, ugh. When did Miss Marvel come out?
The comic book came out in 2011.
Yeah, of course. 'Cause it's a total like chick boner.
Oh, for sure.
Like gives chicks boners. What's her superpower? She's named after the whole fucking organization and good at everything and no flaws and hot too. Like what's it? Right?
No, she's a little awkward Iranian teen who just
Good at everything now.
No,
Because she's named after the organization.
it's true.
Yeah, right?
You know, Tom, listen, you're right. I agree with you.
So Batman's lost his parents, Spider-Man's lost his parents, Superman's lost his parents, Luke Skywalker lost his parents.
Sure did. Yeah, you know, it's all the same. It's all the same, but it's different. And I think
What about Iron Man?
it's those differences. His parents were involved until they weren't.
They were. Okay, so So all right, back to Spider-Man. So and how he's different.
Got
So
him on the skin, baby.
yes, hey, we all get tattoos. We regret.
I don't regret it.
I got a cover up. I had "Death is Certain" in Western letters, and that was a mistake.
Why is that?
Oh, it was so ugly.
Oh, fair
and it was like too small for a big camp. My buddy did it in his room.
There you go. Classic.
Yeah, classic. Good decisions, kids.
Yep. I've been there, done that.
Yeah. So where else are we?
Listen, I get it. They're all the same.
They're all the same.
But I don't know. I think it's those slight differences.
What
that
gives you a
check.
boner for Spider-Man?
Just the abilities, the acrobatics, I enjoy 2 of the 3 actors who have played him.
Yeah, but like he doesn't really have the acrobatics. He's got to use a rope to like get around.
2 of them do have the acrobatics. That's why they were hired.
But like
Tobey Maguire, the OG, he's a fat old man. He ain't got the acrobatics.
the original Superman couldn't fly.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything, right?
No, he could just leap over a building in a single bound.
Just by himself?
That was his thing. He didn't fly till later. But his thing was he would leap over buildings in one bounce. That's pretty acrobatic.
It is.
Yeah, Spider-Man's got to get his rope out.
It's true. It's true.
He's got
But
his
if we're
cane.
talking about the French, the Latin acrobatic term, they were attached to something, right? Like those ladders. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I don't know. But listen, I understand.
Yeah.
I've made it I'm never going to debate superheroes with you.
It's not just-
Every time you talk shit, I just quietly sit there by myself like
I thought you had a whole bunch to tell me.
I could tell you what do you want to know.
I thought you were going to defend these fellas.
Listen, it's you got to appreciate the stories, and because it's not that simple as the loses mom and dad. You know, you got to think of the individual stories that bring those comics or those movies or those shows to life. What's happening in the story, like in the latest Spider-Man movie. Spoiler ahead for
Go
anybody
ahead,
listening.
because I ain't watching that shit.
Right. So obviously, as everybody
Let
knows,
me guess, he beat the Joker.
No, he doesn't. So there's been 3 different Spider-Man over the course of 20 years, right? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, 3 different actors. Marvel's been experimenting, in the movies at least, going into the multiverse, which means there's obviously ultimate, like there's an infinity and number of dimensions
It's
out
French
there.
for more money to be made.
Exactly. But it did that, but it made all the fans happy, all the fucking nerds like me. It made us all happy. They brought all 3 original Spider-Man from all different movies into one movie. And instead of killing the bad guys, they cured them of their diseases, which made them evil, and then sent them back to their reality. But then it wasn't happy because the only way that could happen is if the entire universe forgot who Peter Parker was. So he loses his girlfriend, he loses his best friend, his aunt, because nobody remembers who he is.
They always die anyway, and he never gets his girlfriend in the end.
It's true.
Oh, fuck. They gated up, man.
They didn't.
They did. They're like,
I cried like a baby.
No one's going to die. Everybody's going to cure of diseases. I watched this Netflix special of this race car driver who funded himself by shipping like tons, like hundreds of thousands of pounds of marijuana into the country. And then apparently, because one of the seals broke, he was bringing them in on a cargo ship under it with a seal that's supposed to have salt water in it. He filled it with marijuana. Apparently, one of those things punctured. Water got in somewhere because he had to reroute from Louisiana to California because the feds got on. The guy who welded it open, because the water got in and it started decomposing, killed 2 people. The guy welding and another guy.
Holy crap.
Yeah, right?
That's wild.
Yeah, and Peter Parker loses his girlfriend. So sad. Oh, man.
Oh, whatever.
That would suck. You're just trying to, this is your paycheck and you're a welder and it explodes.
Never mind, you're dead.
Yeah.
Classic. Whatever.
I'll tell you what, I did like the first, what is it, the Endgames?
Infinity War was
Infinity
the first.
War. That was awesome. Very well written. They built the villain.
You
like
liked
that
it?
movie?
You liked it because everybody was dead at the end, and you thought that was that. Like, good, they're all dead. Fuck
They're
it.
all dead. Fuck it. Well, I was just sad because they didn't take all of them out. They didn't get all the Supermen.
Oh, shit. That's funny. I did like that one, but I did like Endgame as well. I like the whole.
I didn't like Endgame.
Well, I've read the comics, so I like how, like,
No.
They
Here's
paid
what
homage to the comics, and then they also didn't. They did their own thing, and it was cool.
No, I feel like they created a problem they couldn't solve, and they were like, "Oh fuck, what do we do? Oh yeah, time travel. Duh."
Yeah,
They went with the cop out. They
That's always-
copped out. They should have wrote something good.
I agree. I think they should have brought the multiverse shit in then. Like, all
Maybe.
right, let's go get the stones
I
from a
don't-
different universe instead of the same universe into a different time.
Yeah, they copped it. Make it a trilogy.
Right. But the other thing, though, too,
They
is
had no problem making it 4 hours. The first one.
to defend that, like I have to do, obviously, Marvel has so much going on right now, especially on Disney Plus. They have little side shows now, and the side shows are actually, unlike in the past where like you would see
Yeah, the Star Wars are doing them.
right,
now.
Star Wars is doing it too, but those side shows are explaining a lot of either plot holes or necessary plot details for the movies as well. So if you're a nerd like myself and you watch all of it, it all makes perfect sense and it's phenomenal.
They really, I think they dropped the ball on it. Like, oh yeah, we could time travel. Everything will be the same.
I think the time travel is that idea.
They could have wrote something better.
I think so.
They copped out.
I agree with that.
I thought it was a great movie, Infinity War.
I did
it was
like-
different.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a fantastically written movie.
Mm-hmm.
They created something, and then it was a fucking wet noodle, the second one, in comparison to how good Infinity War was.
That's true. Yeah, no.
And that was like their
can see
big,
that.
like, Infinity War. That was their big, like, this is going to be it. This is, and then
Yeah.
instead of the money shot, it got limp.
It sucks though, because how do you put yourself in that position where you're Marvel and like you kind of have to keep making movies, right?
Get rid of the fucking shitty They have so many characters. Get rid of the ones you never heard of. Make some new ones.
Right.
Get rid of Captain Marvel.
That's well,
Like, let's get rid of the ones that don't sell. If I was Marvel, I was like, let's get rid of the ones that don't sell and give us an excuse to have to make new ones.
all right. Well, Marvel, like, they kind of set themselves up because there's always been this. It's just like my wife rolls her eyes every time I try to talk about this, but
Is she into it?
no, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. She'll watch Spider-Man because she understands how
Much it means to
how
you.
important Spider-Man is to me.
What did she say when you cried?
She expects nothing less. I cry to most things, Tom. I'm a very emotional
Did she
fellow.
go,
No, she just goes, "Of course you're crying. Of course. What else is new?"
what else is there?
We were watching reality TV the other night. I started crying.
What's because of Survivor?
Just like the happy couple, like had a great time on a date or something. I was thrilled. Oh, it's a show about autistic people on Netflix.
Oh, my wife loves that one.
Fucking Love on the Spectrum. It's amazing. Autistic people finding love. And now I follow them all individually on TikTok. It's a little weird.
I can't get on the TikToks because I'm not the millennial falcon.
No, that's me. Just me. TikTok's a black hole, so you're fine.
They're all black holes.
That's true, but TikTok specifically, I feel like it's like the simulation that we're living in specifically designed TikTok to start like truly fucking us over. I think that's like, all right, now that we've proven we can take their attention, let's like take it for real. Let's take their like that TikTok. I'm like entranced by it, and then I have to smack myself out of it. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, they run off of like, it's funny because like we'll get some complaints like the episodes are too long because we're in a society where people only want 60 seconds of content
Right.
and then stimulation. Like, people aren't used to being bored anymore. Boredom is like something that worked past, but I think like sometimes it's good to unplug. Like, I drive in silence a lot just because I've had so much stimulation throughout the day, so much noise. Like, let me just shut up and listen to myself, check in what's wrong, like what things I can improve on. Just all around, it's good to check in and not have some stimulation. Especially like my first drive in the morning's usually always silent.
Yeah,
And I'm quiet, just letting my brain rest from stimulation.
For sure. I like, as cheesy as it sounds, I try to meditate like often, like, because my brain doesn't want to shut off. Like, it's constantly going, and then like I'm constantly trying to, keep it distracted by looking at something online or watching something on TV or doing something on my computer. I'm always trying to be productive to an extent, but like it's just so much stimulation. So like I need to find 10, 15 minutes a day to just put some like white noise on, like on my speakers, and then just sit there and
Don't even white noise it. Go silent.
It's tough sometimes, especially where I
But
am.
because then it's another thing. Like think of it as light switches.
It's true.
Like your ears are now the light switches on.
Yeah. I think the important thing with meditation is just focusing on your breathing, and then in that case you can drown out most noises as long as you're staying focused on the breathing and understanding that you're going to drift away. It's like it's a human nature. You're going to drift away. You're going to think of something. You're going to hear something and think of it. But as long as you are able to address that and bring your attention back to your breath, that's how you get better at it over time. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. My kids are always saying something, so.
Yeah, I know. So sometimes it's good to shut the ears.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
So I was told this by my one of the best conditioning coach I ever had. He was in Jersey. A lot of my conditioning is based off of him. He told me you could, if you have like lack of sleep or anything, you could get through the day really, really well, like still perform, as long as if every hour you close your eyes. No sound or anything for 5 minutes every hour.
Yeah.
And you just could keep doing that. You will literally charge your batteries.
Yeah, 100%.
But it can't be any sound. It can't be any light. Close your eyes.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. And like I like live my life out that because like there's times I get so freaking overwhelmed where I need to do that.
Yeah.
Or like either I'm going to crash or I'm going to have a panic attack.
Yeah, the last thing you need to do is shove a Red Bull or coffee down there.
Exactly. Which, working at Starbucks, sometimes I choose to do that, and
Yeah,
then I regret it later.
It's hard to not drink coffee and work at Starbucks.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
It's like, oh, you don't like coffee? Well, it's hard to have like caffeine and work at Starbucks because there's so many different ways to get caffeine. Mm-hmm. And although it's a very beneficial supplement,
yeah,
it could also dehydration. You got to make sure you maintain enough water.
Definitely.
So I did want to touch a little bit more on the music thing.
Sure.
Because I feel like that's what's consumed your life the most, besides family and all that. That's what you've been most interested in the most minutes you've been alive.
Yeah, music for sure.
Music. That's your specialty.
Yeah. So
a dream goal is probably to work in music.
100%. My dream life is to own a handful of businesses, to own a handful of real estate investments, and then just spend all of my time, effort, and brain power writing music.
Writing music?
Yeah, writing music. I don't want to be Justin Bieber on the stage. I
Really?
want to be the guy who's written every hit for Justin Bieber, can sit back at home, drink whiskey and write music all day.
And then you get a phone call. Lionel Richie wants to make a comeback.
Exactly.
And he heard you're an awesome songwriter.
There's a couple people I know from back home in Worcester, Massachusetts, who have recently done that for people like Dolly Parton, who wants to make a comeback.
What?
And is writing these, in my opinion, not fantastic pop songs. And not fantastic, I mean, Dolly Parton shouldn't be singing these dancey pop songs. She should be singing what Dolly Parton sings. But these people...
Did she write her own stuff?
Back in the day, yeah.
Her best stuff is written by her.
These days, she's got 4 producers. Ironically, 3 of them are from Massachusetts.
And she doesn't have to perform. She must enjoy it.
I think so, yeah.
And she probably get tired of singing all her old shit.
Definitely. She just wants to...
It's a new challenge, maybe?
Maybe that, and just making it like a big party, but still about Dolly,
Yeah.
Like, she just wants to have a big concert. Doesn't care if anybody, doesn't care if it sounds good. Doesn't care if people get to hear Jolene, but cares if it's loud, lights, and everybody's having a good time.
And she's singing and out there performing.
Right. But people I know from back home wrote 2 of her most recent singles that just came out. So
awesome.
That's all I want to do. I want to write for other people. I want to stay at home. I want to do things like come to the gym and train. I want to go
roller skating.
I want to pressure wash a couple times and then write music.
Now, I think here's what you got to do.
What's that?
I think this is it. Got to come out with a country album. That pop country album. 12 songs.
I've been thinking about it.
12 songs. Write 12 songs. What's today's date?
Today's June 17th.
Okay. So June 17th. So, all right. You need 12 songs for an album.
Okay.
Right? Not
An
too
album or
little.
an EP?
No.
Okay, an album.
Album.
Full-on record.
Make the album. Right? Give yourself a shot.
All right.
Write your songs. How long does it take you to write a good song?
A good song, if I'm staying focused, 3 days.
Okay. Really? 3 days to write a song?
Depends on what I'm going for.
Do you have to write the music?
Yeah.
So you know how to write it in sheet?
I don't write it in a sheet. I write it on the computer.
Okay. So you know what kind of sound you want for each song?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll start a chord progression on an acoustic guitar, and then I'll translate that to piano or electric guitar on the computer.
All right. So you do 10 songs, like country pop.
Country pop.
They all can't be the summer song, but
All right.
you know, you go down the list, you hit the ones you have to hit, like down at the summer song,
Yeah.
the Get Down Anytime, the ballad,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you hit that in your 10 songs.
Sure.
Then you do 2 like of what you really want to do
In that album?
in that album.
Okay.
You do 2 of what you really want to do.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
You could do maybe 8 follow the thing. You got to make sure probably 2 to 3 hits.
Yeah.
2 or 3. You got your summer song.
Yep.
You make 2 or 3.
Campfire song.
Yeah. Something. What BPMs are you?
130 to 160, 170.
Okay, so they're pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty fast.
Rap's mostly on 98. So
Yeah.
you could still do good with 98.
Yeah.
So you do that.
Yeah.
And you do that in a year.
1 year.
So 3 months.
That's possible.
3 months you have all your songs written.
Yeah. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah. It's just finding the time.
You could find an hour a day.
Hour a day.
Hour a day.
All right.
Hour a day.
Gonna have
Hour
to
a day, maybe it'll be a week of song.
I'm going to have to start writing, setting some alarms to remind me to do some shit, man.
Do it.
I smoke
when
too
you're
much
at-
weed these days to
do-
remember, like,
Do it at your Starbucks.
I could do that. Yeah.
You could do it an hour a day on your lunch break.
I think so.
Your hour a day is to write a song, and then you take an extra half hour if you need it.
I'm going to be that fucking hipster who brings his guitar to work. I'm so excited.
Could you do it without bringing your guitar to work? Or
I
no?
could. I really just need the computer and my piano, but like I'll bring the guitar to work. Some of the girls I work with are really good singers too, so maybe they could be some
Yeah,
inspiration.
yeah. Maybe you get 1 or 2 of them on the track.
Start a band. I don't know. If anybody listening wants to start a band,
So you do that 12 songs, and then
12
you
songs.
release it.
I like it.
Maybe you release a couple. So your goal is to have this done in a year,
12 in a year, maybe release a couple singles throughout the year.
if we can.
If we
so
can.
at the 6-month mark, we start releasing it. I think we're gonna have to build hype too.
Yeah, I like it.
Build hype.
I think it's possible. Are you going to endorse this?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. It's country. You're okay with the country pop?
You know what? Here's what we're
You're not
gonna
going to
do.
listen to it anyway. It's all shitty country pop.
It's I don't listen to anything. When I endorse
I
things,
fully endorse it.
I'll endorse it. Here's what it is. No, we'll track your progress along the way.
All right.
Every week we're gonna track your progress.
Okay, sounds good.
So you have your 1 song ready.
Yeah.
That's good. That's one of the 10 now.
Okay, it is country popish.
It is country pop. And if so, like you end up making it because of it, we'll just delete this episode off the internet. Like,
I don't
like
see-
what's his story? He
It's
just
taken
makes it
2.5
'cause
years to get to this many streams, so I don't think it's going anywhere.
How many streams does it have?
23,500, 5,000 on YouTube, 2,000 on Apple Music.
That's good.
It's getting there. It for some reason in the summer, it happened last summer, and so far it's happening this summer. The Instagram equivalent of a TikTok video, which is Instagram Reels, you can use my song as a sound. And for some reason, there's 3,000 people using my song as a sound, all to videos of their dog in the pool. It's just dogs. There's no people. It's like every video is a dog in the pool, and my song is set to the video. So it's flattering.
I got it.
What's that?
Here's how we're gonna make a video to that.
All right.
We're gonna get not only our dogs in the video doing dog shit.
I love dog shit.
They're dog shit. Everybody loves dog shit. Who doesn't love dog shit on that? I'm a sucker for dog shit on the internet. Everyone is. So we'll get our dog's doing dog shit, and then the people that put the video will ask if we could use their clips in it, and then make the official video. And we're going to tell them to
Share this with your friends.
Share this because
Hell
you're
yeah.
obvious. One of those, bunch of those 2,000 people are like probably got check marks.
A good chunk
20.
of them, yeah. Good chunk of them, at least 20 or 30, yeah.
And then just put you in the guitar with the fucking straw hanging out the mouth every
I
so
like it.
often and doing this.
AJ, I'd even fly AJ down for that. Hell yeah.
That's it. But we got to make the music video.
We had been talking. I actually had a really we actually wrote the song. The whole writing of the song is kind of a funny story, but I wrote the song with a music video in mind. I wanted to be like us. Like the music video was because the song's called Poolside. It's about us literally smoking and drinking by the pool, just like living it up because we've made it. Quote made it. Unquote.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was gonna be like the whole music video is us at like this elaborate pool party with a bunch of like fucking like fancy looking people, and then there's this like part towards the end of the song where it gets kind of like the beat drops off and it's a little more spacey, and I was thinking it's gonna be like me relaxing in the pool, and then before the beat comes back in, some fat kid's gonna cannonball into the pool, and I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna be in the downtown community pool and kids in Worcester, Massachusetts. And like I'm not actually in this fucking like fancy pool party. I'm downtown Worcester.
Do it, but instead of a fat kid, a dog jumping in.
A dog jumps in. I like
And
it.
then like chicks and dogs. And then when you wake up, you're just like at some dog park surrounded by like mutts.
And I'm scrolling on Instagram and I'm seeing all the dog videos
Yeah.
with the song. I like it. Hey, that sounds good to me.
That's your market, man. At least for this music video.
I'm just gonna keep writing songs about pools. People love pools.
You got one.
That's why it works, because people are taking videos by the pool and they're going to sounds and typing in pool, and my song pops up first.
Oh,
So I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta keep writing songs with the word pool in it.
yeah, shoot.
Seems
Like
to be the summer thing.
you could even be like, you were shooting pool
Shooting
and throw
pool.
it in. I was shooting pool with Dave Yap on a Saturday night after I had beers and drove my pickup truck into my wife. Country shit.
I'll have you feature on the track.
Oh yeah, I'll go by
yeah.
my rap name,
What's that?
P Sleeve Pete.
P Sleeve Pete?
Yeah,
Explain.
it's just my rap name.
I like it.
P Sleeve Pete. Then my catchphrase is P Sleeve Pete, PSP. This ain't a game, boy.
Is that like a PlayStation reference?
Yeah,
Oh god.
and a Nintendo reference.
I like it.
Right?
Incredible.
So yeah, eventually I was gonna try to get Montana to drop a track with me at the library.
I heard Montana's track, right? He did a track, right? He showed us one where he was rapping. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his brother's music good. I was listening to his brother's music. the
I'm
other
not
day.
into that style, but he's good at that style.
I vividly remember the day Nick was in here showing you all the rappers that he liked.
Yeah,
And you-
Moneybag Yo. That's the one. I think of that name every day. I've never heard any of his music, and I'm like, he's just taking Cotton Eye Joe.
Moneybag Yo.
Cotton Eye Joe.
I like it. That's it.
It's so funny how there's like such nursery rhymes in hip hop.
For real. 100%.
There really is. There's a song by T.I.
I like T.I.
All my hustlers, da da da. That's how all my players roll. That's Old MacDonald had a
Yeah,
farm.
dude.
E-I-E-I-E-I-O. That's a nursery rhyme.
Hey.
It's like that's why it's secretly catchy.
That's exactly why it's secretly catchy. That's all it is every like poppy, like catchy melody is just copying another melody but changing one thing. And then the next melody is changing one other thing, but it's mostly the same. And then the next melody is changing. That's why Ed Sheeran gets sued every other fucking day.
I have no idea who that is.
He's a little redhead guy.
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, the little redhead guy from England. He's the biggest pop star in the world right now.
Never heard of England.
Wow.
No,
That actually doesn't surprise me.
I have no idea of any pop.
That's fair.
And I also have no idea of any movies out.
Like current movies?
Yeah, because I don't have cable.
That's fair.
There's
What do you watch? Netflix?
Yeah, we have Netflix and Hulu's.
Yeah.
I wish we had HBO Max. That's the best.
I'll give you my password.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the best streaming
For
service.
sure. Yeah, lots of good stuff there. The
Netflix ain't
The
good.
new Batman's on HBO Go.
Oh, I
I'm
can't
sure you'd
wait
love
to
to see
skip
it.
over that.
They don't talk about his parents at all.
Yeah, right. He loves talking about how sad he is about his parents. That man loves that
It's
shit.
played by that guy who was in Twilight. Remember Twilight?
I seen one of them.
I saw a couple of them.
I was like, what the fuck are these people doing in the woods all day?
I don't know.
Like the chick will talk to the other one, and then the other one will just stand in the woods all creepily.
Just fucking all pale.
Yeah, but like still in the woods, like 7 feet away.
Like, come on, get out
They're
of here.
just like fucking all in the woods. Like, go to his house, go to her
I
house.
can't touch the sun.
Why do we gotta just hang out in the woods
They
all
can't
day?
touch the sun, Tom.
It's just so weird.
I agree.
Yeah, but my beef with movies is there's no more original movies.
I agree. Although there's a song that not a song, a movie that just came out, and it's the timing's weird, but I know the movie's been in production for a while because I follow one of the actors. It's a movie about multiverse stuff, which is a big Marvel topic right now.
But or like the theory of multiverse.
The theory of multiverse.
So nothing to do with Marvel.
Nothing to do with Marvel. Nothing to do with superheroes. It's
like
about
the
a
theory of multiple universes,
Right.
like where we're playing things out, or we die, we might go to one of these. universes.
Exactly. It's basically every decision you make is a new branch of what could have happened. But that exists somewhere. That's another multiverse. That's another universe. So, like, if I decide right now to drink this, and then I'll have to get up and go pee, that's one universe. But if I don't decide to drink this and I decide to walk out the door, whatever happens out there is another universe.
Yeah, but that's assuming there's like 2 decisions.
Right.
Like you could pee your pants.
Right.
You could go take this chair and shove it down your throat. Like,
Exactly.
And then
But
that's gonna have millions.
Right.
upon
That's
millions.
that's what they mean. There's a million different options.
But then millions upon millions compounding.
Yeah, but that's the theory of the multiverse, though, is that it's never-ending, infinity. That every decision is essentially a new branch. But the movie is about a woman who's able to channel different versions of herself in different universes. There's like a universe of her who decided to take karate as a kid. She's living in the universe where she didn't, so she's just this little old Asian lady. But she can channel the universe of the woman who took karate and use those karate skills to fight people in real life.
Yeah,
And
were they both Asian? Was she the same person?
She was the same person.
Why couldn't she just be some black girl in karate?
I don't know.
Multiverse?
That's a good point.
Everything.
You could look different in every universe. You know?
Yeah. Like, why do you got to be the same? Why does your face always got to be the same in every universe?
That's fair. Because technically it's based off decisions. Every universe is a decision. But then when you think about it, there's so many decisions you can make. But outside of that,
maybe my dad decided to pull out. Like, imagine all the other millions.
You definitely should have for me.
Nah. You're a good person.
Oh, thanks, man.
Good people are hard to find.
I try my best.
I'm very fortunate I get to surround myself with good people.
Actually, Steve and I were talking about this the other day. I've been here for a year. All of my closest friends are members of this gym or owners of this gym.
But in the same aspect, if you would have joined another gym, every member, you would most likely, it's also a social club for adults.
I agree with that.
Many adults don't have hobbies.
That's true. I think about, and like it's subjective. It's depending on the gym you go to, obviously, like you just said. But like, I've checked out other gyms.
Okay.
It's different here. We like Steve and I got like kind of cheesy, like kind of emotional about it the other day, and we're like, it's and like Stephanie talks about it religiously. It's a community. It's like everybody here is family. Even my wife, who doesn't fucking even like talking to me, like loves being here, loves talking to the women, loves talking to you, loves talking to Steph. You know, like it's a community. Like Steve drives almost an hour here.
Yeah.
Every night. Like it's crazy. I tell him he's fucking crazy. Like, yeah, I get it. Like I would do it too. Especially after learning who you were, like, you know, meeting you and like becoming friends with you and meeting everybody at the gym, becoming friends with everybody here. I would drive an hour to come here. But like to him to just start doing it off the bat and then finding that
he
sense
also
of community.
was going to stay with his old gym too.
He did for a while. He doesn't anymore.
No, I love Steve. I'm so glad he ended up sticking around.
Steve's the man. Yeah.
I never pressured him to like even like come here full time. Like,
He's
come when
so
you can.
grateful that you don't give him shit about like strolling in a little late every day.
Yeah, because work comes first.
Right, and and he's so far away, but I give him shit. I'm always like, hey, it's this big old Steve coming in round 3 of warm-ups. Look at that.
Just
How convenient.
dragging his feet to get the jump rope.
Goes into the bathroom first instead of getting every
Yeah.
time, like clockwork.
Come on, Steve. Poop in the bag on the way.
Exactly.
Come on, get it done.
Classic.
Get your shit together. No, work comes first.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, work comes first.
Yeah,
It's when you use it as an excuse, it becomes a problem.
for
though.
sure.
But
For sure.
work comes first. Everybody's got to pay their bills.
Definitely.
Everybody's got to eat at the end of the day.
100%.
And I tell everybody, I said, we're just a land of misfit toys.
Definitely.
Because I'm a lot of weird.
Yeah.
So I attract a lot of weird.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And like,
There's definitely some weird in this gym.
yeah, and if like you weren't cool or you're a little shy, it's fine. You'll make friends here.
100%.
Well, we still like you.
Yeah. I love it, man. That's why even though I don't train as often as I should, I still try to be here as often as I can, in some aspect.
And like for Steve, like, yeah, he's got to drive an hour here, but drives are nice.
Can be, yeah. For
They
sure.
can be nice. He's got to stay up anyway with his kids.
Right.
So it's an hour with his kids in the car.
Yeah, they get to do something,
Yeah, and it's forced conversation as well in a good way.
Yeah, which is helpful, having kids.
You got to have a conversation and drive with them.
And almost every night he goes and does something with them afterwards, So
That's
like,
awesome.
It like makes sense, it's like it's the family routine. So
Yeah, his son has a blast here. He goes out there and
does.
he plays. He comes in here and plays.
He's a
He
good
punches me.
every time I see him, he beats the crap out of me.
Oh, he likes.
I can't say hi to him without like a punch to the stomach.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But yeah, I'm like, come on, man, like get in class. Let's
Yeah, they get social because the homeless people sometimes talk to
talk to
them
him out there.
right before they bring a gun to the dollar store. It's family.
Classic.
Yeah, but I always make sure I walk by the door.
Yeah, there you go.
I got eyes in the people aquarium.
There you go. You watch this place like a hawk sometimes. I always love when I'm like in the middle of jump roping and like something's going on in the parking lot and like you can just see your attention shift and like you stop yelling out jump rope commands and you just go silent for like 30 seconds and you're just staring out at like some sketchy dude in the parking lot making sure he doesn't break into people's cars.
Yeah, you gotta. We actually had somebody bring a gun, and a homeless guy brought a gun into the dollar store
Recently?
like 2 days ago. Second time
What the fuck?
in a month.
Like,
But they waited for us to shut down and me to leave.
Wow.
Yeah, so now I'm just gonna have to stop into the dollar store every day.
Yeah, I know. You're community bodyguard now.
community.
You're
Yeah,
community
no,
watch.
I know. I'm contemplating bringing a gun to work.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Have you considered getting a camera?
Nah. The homeless ain't so bad out here.
Right next to the aquarium's getting pretty bad.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, they were so aggressive in California.
Oh no, in California, I hear that's another world.
Like when I went to the Dollar General
Mm-hmm.
on Brainerd, there was I saw a homeless guy in back. I guess he was eating, and I parked on the side. But I'm like, Steph, just watch yourself, lock the doors.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run in real quick. I go back. Another homeless guy drives up. They bullshit. He sees his buddy, and then they just both take off together. He didn't ask one person for money. He didn't bother anybody. He stayed. He ate his food. And then his buddy came and saw him, and they both drove off on their bikes.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's cool. He didn't bother anybody. He's just living his life. He's got friendship. And in a way, he's free.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know. Downtown's kind of a different game. I mean,
They're a little more aggressive, I'm sure.
they're a little more aggressive. A lot of them know better because we have cops that come down there, especially that early in the morning, to kind of make sure that it's like before the tourists start coming out or the people start coming out, like get off the street. Like the other morning I walked out of the elevator and there was crap all over a bench. I turned the corner, there was crap all over the floor, human crap.
Fuck.
Turned the corner, there was a man sleeping on the floor covered in shit and shit all over the wall.
Who shit on him?
I don't know, man.
I figured out a solution.
What's that?
All right, so summer's out. So we got all these unused buses.
Yeah. Buses, school buses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should use the prison buses a little bit. I think, yeah. I'm good. I still got some. I think we should use the prison buses.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of a bar between the front and the back. Maybe we'll even have a marshal in disguise in that. But let's take all the homeless out here and drive them to California. Southern California. Because the weather's better.
Yeah.
And they get more benefits there. They're going to get more money there.
Right.
It's just in their interest so they don't die from drinking and falling asleep in the winter to go to California.
Right. And aren't like the homeless camps there pretty elaborate at this point too?
They're expansive.
Right. They're huge.
They're huge.
Right. They take up like whole neighborhoods. Right.
Yeah, it's like multiple blocks, Skid Row's multiple blocks.
Right. That's probably better than what's going on here. You know, it's like
Good for them.
Right.
I mean,
That
like
makes
they
a
don't
lot
have
of
to
sense.
deal with the elements. And I think they get money.
Right.
The problem is there's definitely territory.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
the only downfall I
It
see.
probably
is
turns into
territory.
prison at that point. Like, all right, this is my block.
Yeah, but they could figure it out.
Yeah, 100%.
There's enough area for them.
I feel
to
like
figure
enough
out.
of they sympathize with each other to an extent. Like I see homeless guys not getting along all the time, but I see like a good gang of 4 or 5 of them who are the best of friends.
Yeah.
They look out for each other. Like one guy, when I get there to the store sometimes, I'll see 2 guys sleeping and one guy like just sitting there watching them, you know, making sure they're safe. You know, so
I saw 2 at the skate park.
Oh,
One
yeah?
was sleeping, the other one came by. They hung out. I was roller skating. Yeah, and at the dollar store, like I spoke about, there was a good amount of camaraderie.
yeah, I don't know. It's I hear California's the worst. This
It's because they offer them a lot, and you're taking the element. So let's take some of them out of here and go to there. So my town, Temecula, in California,
is that northern or
it's in between San Diego and L.A., Riverside County.
gotcha? All right.
So I'm an hour from San Diego without traffic. I think it's like an hour 15 from L.A., but there's always traffic, so it's 3 days.
Right.
So what Temecula is really 10 minutes from a town called Hemet. Many say Hemet is based off of Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's based off of Hemet.
Okay.
Meth capital, it's rough.
Yeah.
There's no direct road there, so it takes you 30 to 40 minutes to get around to get to something 10 miles away.
Gotcha.
So every so often, when the homeless population gets out of control, the Temecula police get the bus, round them up, and bring them to Hemet and drop them off.
Wow. Huh. Why not? Makes sense to me.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Like
I think if we do that with ours, they have the opportunity to get camps.
yeah.
I think what we have to do, though, if we want to do it right, we have to figure out the programs that they could get.
Make
They're
sure
a little bit more ambitious out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's figure out the programs they get and give them like a step-by-step on what to do
Right.
when they land and a little bit of cash.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Make it like set it up as a program. Make it so that they know that it's going to be a better opportunity. It's not like just
Yeah,
you know
we'll
we're
give
not
them
guessing.
$1,000 each.
We're not saying fucking
$2,000.
ship them off. We're saying like make sure they're prepared.
Yeah.
Have a idea of what they're doing. Give them some cash. Yeah, I think that makes all the sense in the world.
So I was thinking of a charity idea when I first came here.
Yeah.
And it was going to be flyer based. I was going to pick a Saturday.
Yeah.
It was going to be, I was going to hand out flyers. And I was going to invite homeless people to come behind my building to get hosed down. And I was going to call it Hosing Down the Homeless. Like dead serious. I was like, let me think of like a Saturday after like classes and everything, like passing out flyers and like, hey, give this to everybody on the community.
Yeah.
Let's say July 18th as an example. Come by Militia MMA. It's right next to the dollar store you tried to rob. They are hosing down the homeless. And what it would be is I would have like a bunch of body wash, probably pump format, get a big old
Spray foam.
gallon thing. First I would hose them. They'd get a pump. They'd wash. They could go down to their underwear or shorts, whatever they had. hose them down, soap up, hose them down again, send them on their way.
It sounds funny at first glance, but I think of how beneficial it could actually be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny. Well, the problem I thought was, here was the obstacle that was like, all right, if I do that, then they're going to hang around here.
Right.
Thinking they're going to get hosed down every fucking day.
Couple of days, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it'll start like, hey, once a week.
Right.
Here
Yeah.
for the hose down.
don't
And
want
I'd
that.
be like, okay.
Sorry, that was a one-time thing, man. Get out of here.
I would crack.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll hose you down.
I know you would.
I would
You're
hose,
such a good guy.
I would hose them down.
You're like,
That's
"All
when
right,
I
come
was
on."
thinking about getting like PVC pipes and lock and drapes, so running drapes to make like a little shower with our outdoor shower.
That's
so
not a
you
bad
could
idea.
get naked.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid somebody's gonna end up living in it or something, like standing up and sleeping.
That's fair, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like it could be a good service to provide, like on a monthly
No, I
basis.
mean just because we use the shower outside, but
Right.
you gotta always wear shorts.
Right, for sure. Yeah. But it's one of those things where like you could provide that service, but then like you got somebody living back there.
Yeah, they
And
can't
it's like
because it's hiding.
like once a month. Like come back next month. We'll do it again next month. Don't
Well,
be
not for them. I mean for us.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Because we gotta wear shorts.
That's true,
back
yeah.
there. So like if I ran some pipes and stuff,
Yeah.
lock and drape.
Then you can go bare ass.
Yes,
Right.
but I'm afraid I'll get there and somebody will start living in it or take it.
Yeah, right. Weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe
Makes
it's
sense.
worth a shot.
We'll get there.
I should build it. It's only PVC pipe.
Why not? Make it a Sunday project. I'll come help.
You
Me,
come help.
you, King Bree in Montana. Couple beers, build some showers. Hose the homeless.
No, they're not getting in. It's a lock and drape for us.
Hose the militia.
Hose militia every day. That's actually been my favorite thing now.
What's that? Hosing people off?
No, that outdoor shower. It's been so hot.
Yeah. It has
I'll
been
just
fucking
sweat
hot.
in here and then I'll go outside and hose myself off.
I am so grateful. Like I sound like a snooty asshole, but I'm so grateful I have a pool at my apartment complex.
Oh, that's the best.
It's the fucking best, dude. That's like a luxury. Like growing up in the hood, downtown Worcester, like I never had nothing like that.
we got a pool in our apartment. The problem is nobody in our apartment goes to it. It's all trouble from not our apartment.
Really, that's fine.
And then if they're from our apartment, they're trouble too.
That's fair. Yeah. One of my coworkers was like, "Hey, man, like if you see me at your pool, just don't say anything." It's like I don't give a
I
fuck.
tell everybody to come to my pool, and they're like, "Will you come?" I'm like, "No."
No, I don't want.
There's anybody in my apartment, I don't want them to know me, know my business.
That's fair.
Like, they're all trouble.
Well, with that being said, this is a shout out to any militia member. You guys can come to my pool. My
Mine
daughter,
too.
My daughter's already invited everybody in this building to the pool. My youngest apparently like threw a pool party without telling me or Shelby, and like Meg, Janelle, and Jordan and Stephanie were all gonna just show up in my pool one Thursday because Eloise invited them, and like me and Shelby had no idea. And the day before, they're like, "Hey, what time's the pool party tomorrow?" And Shelby's like, "Oh, okay, I guess you guys can come." And they ended up getting ice cream instead because it was raining. But I was like, "Oh man,
Eloise, good planner.
she's a good planner, maniac. That's what she is."
So you're a big MMA fan.
I am. Yeah, I would say I'm a professional. They like to throw the word casual fan out there a lot these days. I would consider myself a professional casual.
Okay.
Reason being, I've been familiar with the sport since 2007, and that's thanks to that terrible movie Never Back Down, starring
you
Amber
signed
Turd.
on it, Never Back Down.
Yeah, that was when I signed on. I paid it like maybe would watch 3 events per month. And then honestly and truly, as much as I don't like to admit it, when Connor was on the rise is when I started really paying attention. But at that point, I didn't like watching any other sports, so I like dived in head first, and I became a like over-the-top MMA fan.
Oh, Connor brought you on board.
Connor, when he fought, whoever he fought right before Brandao,
It wasn't Jose Aldo.
It wasn't Aldo. No.
It was before Aldo.
It was Connor's first main event is when I got turned on. And it wasn't even like a pay-per-view. It was a UFC Fight Night on Fox or whatever, or Spike TV. That's when I got turned on like 100%. Like I became like fully invested in the sport around then. And then my wife finally started getting fully invested, I think because she saw one of Rose's earlier fights before she got the belt against Joanna. And then Shelby got, turned on to it. And then ever since, Shelby and I are just, we don't miss a fight night.
Okay, so you're more than a casual.
I would say more. I say casual from like a length of time being a fan, more so than I do like paying
you didn't
attention.
sign on
because I'm fully invested in all these fucking fighters' lives. Like I even pay attention to your buddy Jesse's life. Like a fucking weirdo. Like I pay attention to MMA fighters and like the shit they do online. But
really?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that more than music?
More than music? If I could have, if my full-time job that I'm getting money from could be having an MMA podcast, sign me up.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah,
the most.
that or be a songwriter.
Or a songwriter.
If whichever one comes first, sign me the fuck up.
So you have a podcast coming out.
Eventually. Eventually.
So I heard you filmed your first episode.
I filmed 2 versions of my first episode.
Yeah, what about the first one?
First version.
Why'd you film 2 versions?
Listen, I'm not even sure if he's gonna listen to this, but our good buddy Jared, Steve and I. So Steve Wyatt, he's my business partner, one of my good buddies now here at the gym. Excuse me. We own a pressure washing business together. Steve and I desperately, or more so Steve, desperately wants to start a podcast. I very much want to start a podcast. So we're thinking like, oh, where can we film this podcast? Like I live in a tiny apartment. I got 2 kids and a wife and a dog. Steve's got a house. He's got his kids there. So like, where can we film our podcast?
What kind of podcast? MMA?
It's got some MMA. It's got some dad stuff. It's got some inspiration. It's got some, just real life talk. It's basically like Joe Rogan, except none of us are of any importance. We're just 2 fucking dudes, just like talking,
kids.
thinking. Yeah, 2 dudes that have kids and occasionally train mixed martial arts. Occasionally more so on my side.
Yeah, Steve's in every day.
Steve's pretty consistent. I am the opposite.
Consistent.
But we just talk about shit. Like we talk about our life. Like Steve and I are very quickly becoming good friends and like. I don't know, but just like talking shit, like learning about stuff. Steve's a big fan of podcasts, specifically like success and motivation and like structure podcasts. And
so you guys Steve's looking for that route?
Something like it. Also more so just like real
shooting
2 buddies
shit
shooting
too?
shit, like
Good.
Wherever it goes, but like we'd like our listeners to get something tangible from it. Kind of like how I mentioned earlier, I like to learn something from every podcast I listen to. I would like our guests to
learn something about
something,
and
right? Anything, whatever it may be. So that's kind of the ultimate goal.
I'm sure Steve's got a lot. I mean,
sure
Steve's
does.
A single dad.
Our very first episode with just Steve and I was like, if we can get an episode like that every time.
So that was your first episode?
Our very first episode was, I wouldn't say hijacked because we willingly invited him. But we asked our buddy Jared. We asked Jared if we could record.
Shout out to Jared.
Shout out to Jared. Jared's the man. I don't know if he'll listen to this. He might. I think he listens to the podcast.
Yeah, I think he does too.
But we're like, hey, Jared, can we use your house? Because Jared's a single guy. He's got a 3-bedroom house. We're like, hey, maybe he's got a spare room we can just set the shit up with and just shoot the shit. Go to Jared's house. I'm like, hey.
But did you invite him in the podcast?
I kind of half-assedly invited him in the podcast, just like, hey, like, if you anything you want to chime in on, maybe. He's like,
no.
nah.
I mean, before that.
Before that,
you even went to his house and he offered it.
So
we
didn't
he
ask him
offered
to
his
be
house. Did you say, hey, do you want to be a part of it?
No, when we asked for the house, we just asked for the house.
You're like me and Steve.
Right. Steve and I are trying to make a podcast. We want you nothing to do with it. We just want your house. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So we go to his house. He's there. We're all kind of shooting the shit, drinking some beer. And I'm like, oh, Jared, you want to hop in here? He goes, nah, probably not. I'm probably going to say some stuff I don't want to, I don't want to be heard on the internet. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So I get everything set up. He gives us this like little poker table. So the computer with the microphones, everything looked really like cool. Like, it just looked like a cool little podcast setup. So I think Jared was like, damn, this looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of it. So he's like, hey, Bobby, you got a third microphone? I was like, yeah, dude, I got a third microphone. So I set up the third mic, and he hops in there. And then, as much as I like, don't get me wrong, I love Jared to fucking death. It just very quickly turned into the Jared show.
Yeah, he doesn't have kids.
Right, he doesn't have kids.
The dad cast.
But he's got phenomenal stories. And it was just like at 2 hours of phenomenal Jared stories. And Steve and I chiming in very little, which is fine. That's something I told Steve, like, whenever like our podcast gets off the ground and like we got a bunch of listeners, I think we should release the very first episode just like as a, hey, this is what could have been.
Yeah, hey.
But I don't know, like the stuff Jared was talking about and the stuff we initially planned to be on our podcast weren't aligning. So Steve and I were like, all right, let's record another episode.
Steve
just
wanted
the two
the
of us.
dad cast.
Steve wanted more of a dad cast.
And then Jared was the single guy cast.
Exactly. Although Steve and I did talk about like psychedelic drugs and like doing, smoking weed and shit on our podcast, which is funny. I didn't think it was going to go that route, but it did. And so our episode will be dropping, I think, next week at some point.
Exciting stuff.
It is exciting stuff. I think it's got potential to turn into something. I think the more our business grows, our pressure washing business, the more the podcast will make more sense and grow.
Yes.
Because like we'll be seeing success in our business ventures, and then we'll be seeing success in our life.
And you could also touch upon that.
Exactly. And then the name of our podcast is going to be Have White Belt Will Travel. It's a play on Have Gun Will Travel, the old Western.
Yes.
Steve is a lifelong jiu-jitsu fan. He loves jiu-jitsu to death. And I look at it from the perspective of I like to be considered a white belt in anything in life, how I'm a beginner, and how like there's always room to grow and learn. So we collectively have that name as that dual meaning name. So the podcast will be the Have White Belt Will Travel podcast. It'll be dropping at some point in the future.
Yeah, go check it out, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
That's like a podcast cousin right there.
Right there. Yeah, exactly. We talked an awful lot about your podcast on our podcast, so
okay, good.
Look forward to that.
Good.
Specifically, we talked about, just you when you shoot the shit and you do your advertisements and how they're like off the dome, like just
they're
like
very, very impromptu.
But they're so fun. It's so fun being that third person, but I'm never a voice. I'm always just the third guy in the room, and then just hearing whatever the fuck comes out of your mouth.
Then you get to see all the faces, dumb faces I make when I'm thinking of it.
I'm just watching him like trying to put it all together in his head, and then you say whatever you say. Like the first time you did shout out 10-8 personal training, Dylan Kennedy, Captain Cran, you just went, "Hey, you fat fucks," and I had no idea that was coming.
Me either. It's like, all right, there. That's going to be our O. Like, I always enjoy showing the process to our new guests.
Yeah, I love it because they're always sitting there like, "Oh, wow, this is it.
This is how they're made." Oh, what the fuck?
And they're always questioning why I'm standing there so like I have my eyes closed and I don't look at you because I know I'm gonna laugh before you even say the punchline because I'm just watching you.
Yeah, just watching me just fucking go to my squid brain.
Listen, I think you've got a serious future in voiceover work.
I was told that when I worked
could
at
set you
McDonald's at 15.
I could set you up a profile on Upwork.com.
Okay.
I get you some jobs. I'll come here. We'll set up the microphone. I got my denser. I can get rid of all the background noise. We'll make you some quality voiceovers.
Are you sure you're going to be able to handle that with your new album dropping?
Maybe. See, because you just added another thing to my plate with that album. And
If you could help me with that, that'd be awesome.
I would love to help you with that.
I'll cut you in.
But you got to help me with the album.
Oh, I'm going to hold you accountable. So you got to have one new song next week. So let's,
all right, but
before we
listen,
cut the podcast.
I think I need to have some consistent training as well. Can you schedule me a day for training?
Okay, how about 2 weeks for your first next song?
All right.
Let's do it in 2 weeks.
And it's got to be country popish.
Is that yes?
That's the route we're going.
That's what your hit is, right?
I could do it. Yeah, I could do it.
Okay, so let's talk premise. What do you think it'll be about?
I'm thinking not so much a love song.
Okay.
I haven't done so my bigger hit isn't a love song at all. It's more of a, it's summertime.
Yes.
Life's going well. Let's live it up. That's
It's like,
kind of the
you
premise.
could be my Corona in line.
Right. That's a good song. I haven't heard that.
I fucking hate that
Really?
song.
I haven't heard that song in years.
That's like a shitty
Baby,
pop.
you could be my. I love that song. Holy shit! You just brought that back to my memory.
You're like, I'm gonna perform it acoustically.
I'm gonna listen to that song on the way home.
I'm gonna perform it acoustically at the wine bar.
I'm gonna perform it acoustically on Instagram later and tag you in it. So
There you go. You
Sounds
Bieber
good.
that shit.
There you
So
go. All right.
you got a summer song.
summer song.
You could probably only get away with one of those. I don't know.
I think I can get away with 2.
No. Here's what your money's gonna be in.
What's that?
2 holiday songs.
Holiday like.
Christmas.
All right.
Because Christmas songs, there's not a lot of them, and they last forever.
That's
Mariah Carey makes most of her money off of her Christmas songs.
The Jonas Brothers have been doing a decent amount of Christmas songs lately.
So
So
you're going to write a Christmas song and...
a Memorial Day song.
Nope. I like that, though. I was going to say a Thanksgiving song, so they stop playing Christmas music so early.
All right. All right.
I think we need a Thanksgiving
We
song.
killed all the Indians.
No, that's not your thing.
No.
It's not your thing. You're not Rage Against the Machine. Get that out of here.
All right.
You're like caffeine into the Jonas Brothers.
All right.
Maybe just the Jonas Brothers. You got to write a Thanksgiving song.
Thanksgiving and a Christmas.
There's
tune.
only like a couple Thanksgiving songs.
All right. All right.
Like,
and then what the rest?
What other? There's
can't-
Adam Sandler's.
Yeah, but that's also a comedic Thanksgiving song, isn't it? I don't think there's any genuine Thanksgiving songs. I don't think there's any like I actually mean let's be thankful.
Yeah, I'm
Thanksgiving.
sure there's religious.
We
shit.
might be. I'm sure there's. With that being said, I've been listening to a lot of gospel music since moving to Tennessee.
Yeah, because it's every station.
Every station, and I just left whatever station it's on my car. So every time I turn it on before I turn my Bluetooth on, it's this Christian song. Christian music is some of the best structured pop music I've ever
You
heard in my
think?
life. You know that Hillsong shit, like the Celebrity Church?
No.
Fucking Justin Bieber went there with.
Nope.
There's
I
a
don't
whole,
know anything about celebrities.
There's a documentary on it. It's about this church that became one of those big like stadium churches that played pop music, and Justin Bieber went there. Like it was a bunch of bullshit.
Okay.
But they write the best structurally sound pop music I've ever heard in my life. I heard it the other day, and I like was almost brought to tears. I'm like, this is a very
Tears.
well structured song.
You found Jesus again through songs.
And the song's called "Jesus Is Coming Back,"
Of course,
but it's a great song. I got home, I showed my kids. I was like, "Hey, listen to this song."
Not impressed.
No, they're like, "What? I don't." What
Shall
is
we
this?
fucking?
She's like, "Turn this shit off. Put Machine Gun Kelly on."
Yeah, she's like, I'm just gonna flip this cross right here. This shit maybe not
Classic.
believe in Jesus anymore. We just gotta worry about the Thanksgiving song. And the good thing about the Thanksgiving song is it's really not about like there's no religion in Thanksgiving.
No, just slaughter.
Just yeah, if you want to go that route. We're
Maybe.
not going that route.
I keep
Tom
forgetting.
Morello,
I keep forgetting
jeez.
country pop.
Country.
Not death metal.
Yeah, so it'd have to be like getting down on cornbread and collard greens and just southern food, like your fat fucking aunt.
Maybe.
Big Mama May.
Well, that reminds me. Since we're talking about our fat aunt, maybe we can get Captain Cranberry to have a feature on the song.
No, he's too fit.
He's
He
too
could-
fit.
He could go in the summer song.
But Captain Cranberry,
Him and George could be in the summer song.
they could. They can actually be the stars of the music video.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'd like to ask you a question. I know this
Okay.
is my podcast. You just had 2 big wins this past Saturday. I'd like to talk about that. I didn't get to go, unfortunately, so I'd like to at least talk about it because that's a big accomplishment for you as well as both of your athletes, obviously.
Okay, so let's talk a little about it.
All right.
We have Josh and George. They hit both of my requirements to fight amateur MMA. It's pretty simple. You got to win a grappling tournament. It's got to be like a legit win. You got to beat up a couple people. Like, and you got to win a kickboxing match or tournament.
I have not done either.
Yes.
Okay, is that what you
can't
get
go
at?
pro. You can't go amateur yet.
Fair
so after that, And you got to at least show you're competent
Sure.
in wrestling. You could wrestle enough. Because that's kind of in the state of Tennessee. So, this is going to be fun. So, am I good on sound?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's break it down to gyms here. All right. So you got Nashville MMA. They got a guy who fought in the UFC once and was on an Ultimate Fighter, Dorian Price. Dorian Price was a Muay Thai fighter. He didn't really have a great stint in MMA. Not a huge record. Had one fight in the UFC like myself. He was finished a little early, but he's a Muay Thai guy. I think he got taken down in sub. But he's really good Muay Thai and really good coach, very experienced. He was at Matt Brown's gym, and now he's the head MMA coach at Nashville MMA. So they're striker-esque. That's their main thing, striking and probably a little bit of cage work in MMA. Dorian knows his stuff, but their main thing is going to be striking. There are some really good jiu-jitsu gyms in Knoxville. You got also some good MMA gyms. I think Vince has a really good gym.
Knoxville.
I don't know many of his fighters from there. Maybe it's because I'm only in the Chattanooga area, or maybe it's because it's just Vince and another fighter or two. I think they're more of an MMA thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I think a little maybe karate-esque. I'm not too sure what their main things, but they're a big gym. I think there's another one where a guy, Hot Sauce trains, Scott Holtzworth.
Okay.
And there's another UFC guy. He's about 30 minutes away. The guy who just beat Matt Brown in a controversial decision. Mm-hmm. He actually lives about 30 minutes away from our gym. I think he trains down in Knoxville. So they got a good gym too. And then you got us, my style. My style is going to be more of the wrestler, grappler-esque. So, as much as I could teach striking really well, because I wasn't the best striker, so I would just invest all the money I had in striking privates with the best coaches possible. Right. So I learned a lot of my things from my eras to put together a good style, and I feel like I could teach it really well, the Muay Thai, and I've worked with Anderson Silva's Muay Thai coach. I've worked with Dan Henderson's boxing coach. I probably clocked in the most privates with them out of anybody, and I've always had good boxing coaches along the way, Muay Thai coaches. So I've picked up a lot and then picked up from coaches on the Ultimate Fighter. But I would say predominantly my style is great for George.
For George, yeah.
Yes.
100%.
And I could be his best training partner in the area. I'm his size, I'm this.
Right.
It also works well for Josh because he's a wrestler.
Right.
But instead of looking for the subs more, he's in the bigger divisions right now. He's going to look for pounding.
Yeah, makes sense.
But which is kind of the same thing. I could work with him as well. So those two are great for our gym and for our style.
100%.
Instead of going to a Muay Thai gym or a predominantly stand-up.
And trying to make them more of a
stand-up
wrestler.
fighter.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, who should we talk about first? You want to go through George or Josh?
Let's go Josh.
Okay. So, Josh, he looked good in his first performance. He made a lot of mistakes. Mm. Not a lot of mistakes, but he made some. So, they offered me a number one contender fight for him. I said, and to fight a more experienced grappler who's been doing it for 5 years out of a Gogi. And I said, no, he's not ready for that fight yet. So let's get him another fight. Let's get him just something different that he hasn't seen yet. And they're like, all right, we got this guy 2-1 from Alabama. He comes out hard. He comes out fast. But he's only, judging from video, he only lasts one round. But he comes hard. I was like, well, that'll be something for Josh to overcome. That'll give him a right amount of obstacle, but enough for him to develop his skill. I'm not going to stack the deck against him, but it was something I was confident in him winning, but
Yeah.
I was confident in him having an obstacle.
Right.
So he's 1-0. This guy's 2-1, so it's respectable. This guy's bigger too.
Yeah.
He's 260. So
Bigger than I expected.
yes, he was told he was small. I watched the video; looked big. It's like it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm confident with this matchup. He looked a little timid and needed some work in some areas, which is fine. It's good we have that information. He was able to. He had a lot of trouble in the first round, in the first minute. The other guy was in the cage more and came at him. He went for a throw. He fucked it up and pulled the guy to his back. That was a little rough and a little scary. He worked his way up and was able to take the fight to him.
Yeah.
He ended up taking him down eventually, or reversing him. I'd have to watch the video again. Getting on, pounding him, putting him in bad position, and was able to turn the tide and get his victory. That shows me he's probably going to need another fight or two along that way before we move him up to ladder, which is okay.
Yeah.
He's going to need improvement. George. Now, first of all, very proud of Josh. Glad we overcame it. There's a
100%.
lot we have to learn, but
Yeah.
that's part of the game.
Yeah.
And we're doing well, and he did what I thought he was going to do. So let's talk about George. George had this guy, Van Buren, South African guy.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good wrestler.
I watched him fight before,
Yes.
and I wasn't worried, but I was like, okay, compared to the first fight for George, this one's a little harder.
Yes. So Van Buren, he wrestled when he was 16 in Worlds, like the real Worlds, representing South Africa.
That's
Bo
cool.
Nickel was in the bracket, that guy.
Wow.
And I think he medaled. So he was a really high decorated wrestler. And then I guess he moved to the country. He went to, he didn't go to Division I or Division III or D2. He went to NAIA for the guys who just don't go to those schools.
Yeah.
Home to a lot of amazing wrestlers. And I think he took second twice in the Nationals. And those guys could compete on those high level. They could compete D1, they could compete D3. D3 being the highest. But like NAIA can be just as high as D3 or higher.
Right.
So it's good. He was a good wrestler. So stylistically, this was a very tough matchup for George. It was actually offered to us first for his first fight because nobody wanted to fight him. I said, listen, me and George talked. We wanted somebody who was brand new first for his first fight.
Make it
brand
fair.
new.
Yeah.
Both debuts. He did very well. Then it was offered again for the. We're like, all right, George. I asked the matchmaker, let's give George the title fight. After watching it, we're like, he could beat both these guys. We stuck around after to watch the fights. So George, I'm sorry. So we watched the fights and we're like, we could beat either of these guys. Let's get this fight.
Yeah.
So I talked to the matchmaker. He's like, you got to do one more before you fight for the title. How about you fight that Van Buren guy? Because nobody wants to fight him.
Right.
So that's the toughest guy in the area that nobody wants to fight because of his wrestling accolades. So we watched the video. We saw he was at a strict Muay Thai gym, which was making him very, very flat-footed. He was on his heels.
Yeah.
We're like, that's it. That's the money right there. He's on his heels. We could out-wrestle him. This Muay Thai gym isn't doing him any favors.
No.
So we watched. We came up with a game plan. George went out there. He saw he was so flat-footed that he went for a takedown right away once he was in range. Guy was a good wrestler. He took him down, tried to take his back. He reversed him, slammed him. George turned it into a low single, out-scrambled him. Eventually took his back, choked him out in the first. It was definitely something I wasn't 100% confident George was going to win.
Mm.
I was, but I wasn't.
Was that due to preparation, or was that due to just the other guy?
Just the other guy, not preparation.
All right.
Because George was beating me up at the end.
Yeah.
So he's...
I've seen it. George is a fucking tank, man. I watched that. I asked Jordan to go live on Instagram. Josh went on. I casted it to the TV. We watched Josh on the TV, through Instagram Live on the TV. Me, Shelby, Lydia, Eloise all screaming like crazy because Josh won. Closed it out, watched the UFC fight for another 2 rounds, and then George went live again on George. Dude, I wish my whole family was at the fight.
It was awesome to see him
4-0, Tom. That's crazy. I don't know.
No, it's
hard
we gotta
work.
go 5-0 with Mary, and the big thing I do is I try to make sure these guys learn how to beat me. So every time I work with them, if I'm in something and I'm doing something that's going to give me the advantage, I'm like, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
This is what you got to do to stop it.
Right.
And then you got to add a punch in. And
Yeah.
that's it. The good coaches teach you how to beat them.
I was the other day when I walked in for, I came here the other day to come talk to you for a little bit, and I was going to say, oh my God, is that Trevor Whitman? Because it's just like, I don't know. I think about how hard of a sport this is. And I think about like physically watching George and Josh just hustle and hustle and hustle. And then watching them go out and fight other people. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's so crazy to me that like George is a wrestler, Josh is a wrestler. And, like, they're out there fucking fighting people. It's crazy to me. And I watch the work they put in here. I watch the work everybody puts in here. Even the people who compete in the jiu-jitsu competitions, like Landon or Dylan or Colton or everybody. I don't know, man. I think you got the I think you're good at what you do. I think, like, if I honestly and truly, like, I think full-scale MMA, I think professional MMA, I think amateur MMA, I think of Trevor Whitman, I think of James Krause, and I think of you. When it comes to, like, high-level coaches, people who, like, and I know watching your fights, I know hearing from you that you wouldn't consider yourself.
No, I wouldn't consider myself a high-level coach. I think I'm a high-level coach from this area.
Not necessarily.
That's why I moved here.
Right, but not necessarily a high-level coach, but a high-level striker. I think what you do on the ground, I think you do from a grappling position, I think you do from that standpoint of training is so extra compared to what you've clearly learned over the years striking. Like, when I first moved here, I trained boxing for like 5 months, 6 months before I moved here. I trained from this old school Puerto Rican guy who wanted me to keep my front hand down so that I could be less telegraphed when it came out of nowhere, you know? And the second I started training here, you're screaming at me to keep my left hand up.
I'll tell you what,
and I'm
Phil
like, dude,
Nurse
I can't
said
keep
that
my left
to me.
hand up. I don't know, like, it's not. I don't have that much fucking strength. I can't get my left hand up that high.
Well, Phil Nurse has said he did that with George St. Pierre the first time he fought Koscheck the first round because he was waiting for a shot and you can't see it under.
Right.
So there is some stuff to it. Just my boxing coaches would yell at me.
But these Puerto Rican guys up in Massachusetts are like, no, keep your left hand down. You want that shit to pop out of nowhere.
Oh, but they know their sport, I'm sure.
They do. And I felt like, honestly, I felt like my hands were getting decent up there.
Everybody's body style and type is a little different.
Right. My problem is technique-wise, like, I can understand to an extent and I can reciprocate. Athleticism, I don't have any. I've got very little athleticism left in me. So, like, yeah, like,
no, I don't. I hate when people say I'm old, I'm this.
It's not that I'm old. It's just that, like, I gain so much weight and then I lose so much weight and then I gain so much weight.
I'm gonna say something. Just look at Chip.
Yeah,
just look at Chip.
That's true.
Just look
what,
at
52, 51?
51, 52.
Yeah.
He voluntarily does the fight team, and he's so consistent. He's like, I just want to do it and
Chip's a
learn how to
maniac.
fight.
Chip's a maniac.
He's got abs. He's a little immobile from years of grappling and running marathons, and just nobody can complain if Chip's there.
If
He never says I'm old. Occasionally, but
just letting you know, this is the longest podcast you've had so far.
is it?
Yeah. So do with that information as you will.
All right. So all right, guys, I guess this is the longest podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll do the lottery segment next time. Hopefully we'll get another guest. We might be a week off. If we're a week off, go ahead and check it. Thank you for tuning in, guys.